at the level we expect from them, Ninjas in Pajamas, for example. But apart from that, I was very impressed with ends, like the individual fragging prowess from majority of the members in that lineup, like Hades, like Diha, like Spinks. They really surprised me and were very impressive. And of course, that win against Mousesports, I don't feel like it was a fluke. They really seemed like the better team on that particular day against Dexter and his man.
And Maniac, obviously, that didn't mean that Mousesports kind of got an easy pass against NIP. MIBR didn't really rise to the occasion, but this is probably good for Mousesports. Again, it is a charity event. We found out yesterday for certain, Maui Snake actually asked HLTV, these games don't count for team ratings, so we at least thought that was on the line a little bit still, but it's not. So there was, really no harm in it not trying and having a little bit of fun and just giving us some entertainment. But for Mousesports, we're talking about riding confidence and momentum and coming out of the RMR. This is a good follow-up for them, perhaps.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think that that's a story that we need to hit a lot, because even though it is a charity event, which is amazing, and we have to accept the fact that teams are not going to go into this 200%, at least on a tactical level, it's still a nice opportunity for individuals to rack up some confidence, and that is the angle I want to take on when it comes to Mousesports, because we've seen really superstar-like performances from individuals like Robs, which we have on our graphic right there. He completely tore them apart on the first series, and I like to see that. I like to see individuals taking that as a ground to rack up some kills, and also obviously learning a little bit about Ancient. That's another of the topics that we've addressed quite a lot during this event. So good on Mousesports. They didn't really go in with like the most polished game style or strat book or whatever, but by the sheer strength of their individuals, they outclass NIP, which obviously were not trying as hard.
No, exactly, but I think it is, like you say, it's important. The individuals, Rops, you just saw the stats. Device was the other one, and we touched on that yesterday as well. New team for him. He doesn't want to let down his guard too much. He's still getting used to things, so he had the highest individual performance from NIP, but Rops definitely getting that confidence back underneath of him. He is the firepower behind Mousesports. Saw a lot of Ancient as well. I think every single series we saw it. Yeah, which is kind of cool. That might also be the fact that we are in a charity event with no real harm done to stats. There's reasons to try it, but we know that it's going to be floated, as was Vertigo yesterday by NIP. So this is the right time to start implementing it in when there's not a lot of consequence on the line, and we know that there is big events coming up. Cologne, first time we're going to have teams back on land. That's super exciting. A couple of these teams actually in play in Big and FaZe in today's group. Fury has already qualified for that, so that, like we said, there's still stuff to look forward to there. With that said, let's look at this group, as I've just mentioned a few of the teams that we're going to see today in Group B. Furia, Big, FaZe Clan, and that's going to be a big talking point. I don't care if this is charity. They need to increase that win percentage. My God, that is not what you'd expect from the caliber of players that team has. And then Dignitas, which is the old NIP roster, which quickly became the old new old NIP roster, which is now just, I don't know at this point. But Freiburg's there, which is super exciting and fun because I love that guy. So good to see them involved as well. Where do we start here? I mean, our first game of the day is FaZe versus Big, and as I already said, Blay, FaZe Clan. My God, I don't even know where to start.
Listen, like, amongst all the teams in this tournament right now, like, we saw the way NIP were playing, we saw even from Mousesports, like, everyone has kind of like an agenda coming to this event, right? For NIP, maybe it's just about playing for charity, just trying to have a good old time. We saw Device like fragging out, for example, which is something we haven't seen from him in their officials recently. Mouse have their game plan as well. They're playing it comparatively seriously. You look at ends, like, they've been playing only the tier 2 events. They want to make an impact. We could see how much effort they're putting into the games, and likewise, I'm expecting to see the same out of Big or Dignitas. For FaZe, you can't have fun. You can't just mess around. At this point, like, I feel like even if it is going to be a loss in a tournament which doesn't have any HLTV points, there's no real prize. It's all for charity, which is a good cause and everything, but mentally I feel like they need something to go right. Now, again, facing off against Big, it is still very 50-50. I feel like they did show some good signs in Blast. A couple of those games they had against G2 and Navi, for example, were very, very close indeed. So I feel if I'm FaZe, I'm taking this very, very seriously as potentially like a Cologne play-in game for that matter.
Yeah, Maniac, I mean, do you follow up on that? Because, I mean, look, Kerrigan came back. We thought, oh, great. They got their in-game leader back. This is going to be sweet. coldzera comes over. I mean, that guy was an absolute god. He was #1 player in the world at one point. How many #1 players in the world do these guys have? Well, Cole comes over to play with Nico. Nico bounces. Twist comes in. Okay, that's not a bad sub. Let's go. And it's just been terrible.
Yeah, I have to be genuine with you. I thought that when Twist and Kerrigan came over the project, this would work out. I played chess in my head and I tried to lay the pieces on the board and say, okay, there's actually something to be done here. They have a good experienced IGL, Matt Frege coming in with Twist, but effectively it seemed that there was a disconnect between passive and aggressive players, and that used to be the problem with coldzera being a little bit too passive on some of these play styles, and then now the FaZe that I've seen play during blasts looks a bit more balanced, but it is a very small sample size, and I don't want my heart broken during this event because they might just take it nice and easy, and we could not fault them for that. But I very selfishly hope that they give everything they have, just so I can have another sample size to see, okay, how is this roster going on? Because Olofmeister, and we can touch on that very quickly, Olofmeister, he's got that very unique ability to go off the game for months, just come back and make it look like he hasn't actually stopped, like he very much fight against pretty much anyone. So you have that, you have Brokey playing very well, you have Twist, which is yet to deliver. So there's a lot of interesting storylines for FaZe.
And honestly, it's been a struggle. I think so much pressure went into them building that dream team, and ever since the Boston Major, where they lost to Cloud9 in the final and upset, they've just been chasing it. And you're right, they have the pieces for the puzzle, but they're going against a team that never really gets rated where I think they deserve. It's big, and before we get talking about them, let's hear from Tabson about their chances and what's going on with the team right now.
Looking back to the grand final of Spring Sweet Spring, playing against OG was definitely a tough game. They were well prepared on Mirage. I would say even though we were a bit, I would say, like we were struggling a little bit on Mirage recently, our performance underperforming. I would say we just needed to play a little bit more straightforward, play more on contact. I would say they were saving a lot of utility, so they were definitely knowing what they need to do to beat us on this map. And yeah, for this time, I think we would be more prepared for that. Personally, I never really believed or really thought about being a professional athlete, especially in the computer world. Therefore, I would say it was also a hard process to me. Like it was for me an unknown process, being at some point one of the best in Germany. Like people look up to me, and it was completely different for me. I was looking up to people as well, and I had to get into a role model which people can say, oh, I really like this guy, I can imagine being like this guy. So I have a huge like I have a huge responsibility I need to take, and I'm granted to do that. I really like to be in these shoes as well, so I really like to be. Of course, like the privacy, for example, gets more low. You don't have so much privacy anymore, which is also fine if you can live with that. But of course, having privacy is also really important. So it's like a mix of both, and the way how it is right now, I really enjoy it. I love being around with the fans, I love being around my people, I love being around with myself, and I have some privacy for my own, and I really enjoy being the way who I am and where I am right now. It feels amazing to be part of Gamers Without Borders. It's a huge thing, it's a huge positive thing. Like for me personally, it has no like negative things. The only good thing is about you have practices against good teams, you have a really good cause, donating to very good cause.
Or watch it. Think of how many people have watched Counter-Strike, and yet people still roll their eyes, oh yeah, you're a role model. Okay, go to Cologne, when these guys were having that incredible run they had, I think, what was it, 2018? And tell me that you don't have 15,000 fans that immediately want to shake your hand when you leave that arena. I mean, there is a sense of fanship. There is certainly a sense of responsibility, as he says, to be a role model.
I absolutely agree. I completely agree, and obviously, whatever we do, or they do, because I'm not part of that we anymore, but whatever they do, at least us as talent broadcast as well, there is a responsibility that we have in terms of the messages, the value we put out there. And I just wanted to say that Tabson is fulfilling that mission, right? I think he is an actual role model in how he behaves, how he expresses himself. He's a great model for Germany's Counter-Strike as a whole. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of a tap on the shoulder, because I think he deserves it.
Blake, how do you think they've been looking coming into this? Because they've had some ups and downs. Again, that run at Cologne was a super high point for them. Phenomenal performance. Tabson's certainly one that stands out. But Zontara is coming in. It's taken a little longer for him to adapt than a lot of people would have expected.
Yeah, I feel like Big kind of have hit a plateau, and like, look, the Cologne run was fantastic, right? But it was a long time ago.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like that right now they're the kind of the kings of tier 2, where they will consistently beat any team, you know, outside of like a top 12, top 15 position or in the overall world ranking, so to speak. When it comes to facing off against like tier 1, like top 10 teams, that's when they kind of struggle a little bit. Yes, they have a couple of upsets here and there, but they need to start beating teams who are a little bit above them consistently. And looking at the map Vito over here, I'm sad that it's not there. Mania.
No, don't be sad. That's going to be competitive.
First time.
That's going to be competitive. It's big picking Nuke, because I think they want to, you know, make sure and double check that whatever improvements that they did together, it's going to work out. It's going to be nice. I'm very happy about it. Also, is that the moment where we address the rumors about Zontara is going to another team, maybe? Or we
that's
after the map.
Well, I was gonna, we've got about 15 seconds before we're in the game. I was gonna mention it because obviously he came in with Godby, who has a Turkish background. They were using each other to communicate. I was also gonna point out, with no Godby, the guy that usually likes to theory craft with Anders at times, literally for those videos, they probably would have picked Ancient, but they didn't this veto. We're going to get right into it. We'll talk about it after, because again, this is going to be hopefully very competitive. To do that, though, we've got to send it over to another man who got stabbed last night, and it's going to be Dinko and Hawka, who got his first vaccine. I got my second. We're doing pretty good, and you guys are looking forward to this game, I'm sure.
I can't hear you, Dinko.
Yeah, I assume you gave me a nice one.
I was asking you how you were doing after your vaccine, Alex. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm doing good. I'm much better today. I'm feeling 100% money, and hopefully both these teams are feeling good too, Dinko. Because we don't have any Ancient here today, but we do have a hot game on our hands between FaZe and Big.
Yeah, we strongly do. I hope that this is going to be a competitive game between the two sides. You've definitely seen some lackluster Counter-Strike yesterday, but today we should be expecting a much better affair. Twist looking to try and open things up with the banana fight. Spotted, tagged up, and now chased after by Keto. He has opened up the fragging count for Big, man advantage in play, and Keto hasn't stopped. In fact, he goes forward to pick up that USP, and Zantaras, who continues to frag out here for Big, up towards top middle, and well, FaZe are falling apart in this pistol round.
Oh, another good shot from Keto, and they've got themselves onto that B bomb. So I feel like Keto has some very good performances in pistol rounds. Every now and then he'll just come in with a huge multi-kill, and that's really impactful. If you can win those pistols for your team, puts you in a really good standing. And unless Olaf and Brokey can do something absolutely absurd, Big are going to be off to a good start here.
Oh, Keto looks for the headshot. Olaf Meister down, and now Brokey left inside the banana. Good headshot in from Keto. 4K into the pistol. We were talking a little bit about his performances on Inferno in the pistol rounds, holding that banana area, Alex, with his dual brothers back in the day. But doing it in this round was just the Glock, charging up, getting the USP, and finishing off the job. So Big off to a fantastic start. FaZe going for the investment, though. They'll pull out the Deagles, utility out across the board, and now they've got themselves looking quite solid.
A super solid start to this one for Big. What FaZe can do with these Deags throughout the tournament so far. We've seen plenty of these rounds come close. Oh my god, Keto is not stopping Dinko. He's got the AK out. He's already got a headshot on Banana. My god.
Oh, Keto is doing the same thing again, Alex. This time just cutting through them with the AK. Headshots galore in towards the B side. And FaZe, they have 3 players left, but they're all over on the other side of the map. Clean and clinical from Keto. And these are some of the performances you can get out of Keto, right? I know we're only 2 rounds deep, but he's got 6 kills. You can't really ignore that fact. And he does have sometimes these performances where Keto can top the board. He can take over a map or in a series. And I'm looking forward to seeing if that's coming through today.
And that's something that maybe sometimes Big can miss as a team. You know, we always talk about their team play, their nades, their fundamentals, but sometimes I think you do just need a player to have that level of performance where they have a ridiculous individual game. Yeah, Kito's definitely been the player who probably delivers that most often for Big, actually. You know, some of the other players will obviously have good and consistent performances, but every now and then, I feel like you see a Kito game where he drops 30 plus and gives Big a win that they maybe otherwise wouldn't have got.
Big Complexity felt the brunt of that a couple of times in the last season, so definitely good to see Kito getting off to a good start. Over for FaZe. Yet again, Deagles, they were able to carry over. There's a little bit of a chance to maybe get some damage into this one.
They've had enough of losing B, Dinko. They've stacked 4 players here.
Yeah, it definitely has been a bit of an issue. This is the anti-Keto defense system, but it might just be the play into the A site. I think this could be the perfect call from Big, realizing, okay, they've got something. Obviously, they're saving weapons. They must have a little bit of pistol action. What are they likely to stack? It is going to be that B site. So they make the call to go over towards A. They find Olaf Meister immediately, and now that's the round. So Big off to a flawless start. These calls have been effective, and some of the players just so crisp as well. FaZe Clan, they realize, all right, we've got to at least attempt this. They're going to run through the archway. Rain running down with a P250. Does get his kill onto Tabson. Keto continuing to be immortal. 7 frags now with 0 deaths. The rest of the squad trying to get money now on the Mac 10s. Luckily, a little bit of damage coming in from a couple of FaZe players. 2 kills found very quickly there, 3 in total. But for the most part, Big can be very happy with the 3-0 start. And Keto again, another frag for him and not falling. So now we get into the gun rounds. All about for Brokey immediately.
Yeah, Big can be very happy with this start, but I think the upside for FaZe is even if Big are playing this well individually, Inferno's a map where you can use those nades early, you can deny some of those early fights, so Keto can't just run up Banana if there are mollies there, he can't just force the fights early. It's surprising that we don't see Twist buy a kit with that extra cash, but Rain trying to force the issue, Keto finally dealt with, but not before he gets a kill in this round.
Big are going to start turning their attentions over towards A, and this is where that ult from Brokey is a big investment into the round. They've got to hope they can get something out of it. Drop back into the side. Big looking to wrap long. Good utility coming. Flashes keeping Twist off the angle, but eventually he'll re-peek. And when he does, finds the head of Tabson. The Molotov kept the rest of the big players at bay so that he couldn't be traded out effectively, and FaZe now have the man advantage. Oh, there's a gap in the smoke. Alex now boosting. They're not looking for it. Santaris turns around though, and Twist goes down.
And trying to find an angle onto the site. Olaf is staying snug in behind that box. Brokey alongside him with the AWP. And here comes Olaf. Lovely lineup for him. Gets his first 2 kills of the game. Gets FaZe their first round win.
Yeah, Olaf back into the roster as well. In and out more than the hokey pokey, Alex, but he's here. And we'll see if he's here to stay this time. And I have to say, when you look at Olaf Meister, Maniac was mentioning it on the desk, he does have these this skill where he goes away from the game, comes back, and he's just as good as he was when he left a couple months ago. And if you remember the last tournament he played with FaZe Clan, that was, well, before he left, not the most recent, but he's definitely on fire. We'll see if he can get back to that form again. Brokey peeking in towards mid with that ult early, going for some mid picks. Keto again back up into the banana fight. He was doing this in the first couple of rounds, now attempting it against rifles. He hasn't got anything out of it apart from damage. He's down to 22 HP.
Oh, okay. Brain flashed in for that kill onto Keto. AK recovered by Tabson, and Tabson makes the most of it. Headshot in reply onto Rain. Back to a 4v4 off the early banana trades, and this is a spot that's always difficult on the CT side. You've got to leave something weak. Right now it's that B site that only has a single defender, but FaZe aren't comfortable with that. They're going to put Twists into CT for that potential of a rotate. He's sticking around on A though, and that's the right call.
50 seconds, certainly looking like the right call now as Big start to wrap up short. They're going to put pressure into the site, and Brokey He's currently watching up towards the apartments, but the rifles are coming in from short, and Olofmeister is just repositioned. Brokey's got a deeper position inside of the site. This definitely could get messy for Big. There's only a couple of seconds really to play with here. They have to be quite quickly. And Tabson, who tried to get out long to help them, has fallen to Twist as well. And that was just Searson. Usual Alper now on the edge.
To pretty good positions, even if they're unable to close the round on this occasion. And Inferno has had a somewhat strange relationship for Big. They were banning it for a while. They've started playing it a little bit recently, but they still haven't won it in the last few months. It seem like they are banning a bit of Ancient right now, and then sometimes Inferno if they feel like they're not going to be punished. But I think Big are going to have to show us that they can play one of these maps. Looks like right now they're seeing if they can play some Inferno, put that into their pool, and it started off strong for them, but it slowed down pretty quickly. And Carrigan gets one straight through the smoke against the Pistols.
Yeah, not a bad start at all for FaZe, and they had landed as well.
Może Olofmeister gdzieś tam głęboko siedział, nie zrobił zbyt wiele, ale jednak ta przewaga była już spora. Mimo tej walki Searsona rundy nie udało się wygrać. No i teraz Big, które w końcu musi też zrezygnować z zakupów. Brakuje karabinów. Tutaj jakieś lepsze pistolety i to właściwie tyle po stronie atakującej. No ale to jest idealna okazja dla Carrigana. On akurat lubi takie sytuacje, zresztą kto nie lubi? No chyba każdy uwielbia coś takiego. Rywal gdzieś wpycha się bananem, ty masz 2 karabiny w tym miejscu, nawet i 3, bo widzimy, że Brokey teraz podszedł ze swoją snajperką i przeciwnik, który zostaje spod tego banana wykurzony. Takie ekofragi to trochę jak takie drugie śniadanie, chociaż ja wiem, że wiele osób nie je tego pierwszego śniadania i powiedzmy jak ktoś prowadzi taki poranny tryb życia, to pierwsze śniadanie zjada około 6, może 7, a później około 10-11 mówi, że ma drugie śniadania. Znajdą się takie osoby, że o 10-11 mają pierwsze śniadanie i ja w sumie jestem takim przykładem. Szczególnie podczas tych ostatnich dni, gdzie właśnie komentujemy spotkania z Kubikiem, gdzieś kończą się w pół do północy. Zanim człowiek zaśnie, to oczywiście trzeba się wyspać, trzeba się naładować po to, żeby już podczas kolejnego dnia mieć siłę, mieć energię na to, żeby komentować kolejne mecze. No ale u mnie ta energia będzie, ona się zawsze znajdzie. Zobaczymy tylko, czy będzie energia u graczy FaZe i u zawodników Big, bo oczywiście teraz dopiero początek, ale Big, tak jak mówiłem, dzisiaj nie ma zbyt luźnego dnia. Swoją drogą zastanawia mnie, jak to Big rozegra, bo w harmonogramie tego turnieju Gamers Without Borders mamy mecz zwycięzców o godzinie 20, czyli jeżeli Big wygra ten mecz teraz, to grają o 20 jeszcze dzisiaj, ale oni o godzinie 16:45 muszą rozegrać spotkanie przeciwko LDLC w ramach SEA Premier, spotkanie w drabince przegranych. I oczywiście, może Big zdąży, tutaj 2-0, później 16:45 LDLC, szybkie 2-0 i o 20 będą gotowi. Także ciekaw jestem, jak to zostanie rozwiązane, gdyby jednak Big ten mecz wygrało, ale to byłyby problemy, 3 wyrównane mapy, później z LDLC też. I kto na kogo będzie czekał, jak to wszystko zostanie rozwiązane, ale na razie może o to tak się nie martwmy, bo na razie wszystko idzie sprawnie. Mecz rozpoczął się punktualnie, mamy 7. rundę i też tutaj trzeba zaznaczyć, że raczej zawodnicy bardzo często nie wykorzystywali swoich przerw taktycznych, ale właśnie Big myślę, że może do tego nieco inaczej podejść. Myślę, że właśnie będzie Big ekipą, która wcale nie będzie się jakoś bawiła. Oni mają często taki wolniejszy styl, jeśli chodzi o atak. No i to też działa, przynajmniej w tej rundzie, bo to już jest przewaga 4-2, chociaż tutaj Brokey miał szansę, ale te strzały niecelne. Tabson bardzo ładnie wyleciał tam w kierunku respa CT i to jest już koniec tej rundy. 4-3. No była ta seria zwycięstw od FaZe, ale Big wróciło do karabinów.
that first win in a while. Searson with another early kill on towards that AWP. Tabson decides to drop back with the man advantage, and Keto goes walking through the smoke straight into the waiting arms of Carrigan.
Yeah, that's a free gift right there for Carrigan, especially because Big just got that opening kill. Keto walking through the smoke alone. He's going to try and get away with that a little too often, right? He's really forcing the issue on that one. Luckily, Carrigan hangs around a little too long. Let's get traded out, but Brokey in behind sandbags again. Flash ineffective, single peek around the half wall. Space is kind of off, so they're giving chances here to Brokey. Finally, they double swing. Brokey unable to go down, but finally will. Tabson landing the bullet through the cranium, and Twist has got over here in towards the B site. Nice snappy little headshot coming out from him, and he drops in behind the smoke.
Bomb being planted. Twist can't get clear vision towards the bomb. That wall was defending Xantares, so he gets it down. No kit currently in possession for FaZe Clan, which means they have to up the tempo if they want to go for this retake. And right now, Twist was trying to fall back, but Searson's been able to land a shot. Olof's hanging around to see if he has a chance, but as long as they don't peek him, I don't think there's a way for him to win. Searson closes it out with one last shot.
One around from Searson, starts off for that wall-bind flash kill onto Rain, follows up, even if Twist is trying to back away, Searson has no mercy, right? Just takes them both down to close out the round. 5-3 up for Big, and we usually talk about how T-side AWPers kind of struggle on Inferno, while Searson is kind of changing the game over the last couple of rounds. He's been the difference to get Big these two rounds, right? Gets the opener on Carrigan a couple of rounds ago, opening the following round. He's doing a lot of this T-side AWP, and often you see players struggle in that department.
And a big upside so far for Big. And Olof is able to get one kill, but in comes Tizian to finish the job for Big. 6-3 lead, good stuff from them so far on their T side. I don't think you can complain too much right now if you're a Big Clan fan.
No, you can. Really good start to the T side. Beautiful first couple of rounds out of Keto. And now we can get another round win here. They were doing quite well in those gun rounds. Oh.
Bit of an ugly SG skin, personally, I think. The ultraviolet, not my favorite. But
I just hate that skin so much.
Yeah.
Looks bad on knives, looks bad on SGs, looks bad on everything.
Tabson's trying to rock it. Molly going into top banana. Rain's playing up close. Might need some support here. The flash was there, but Keto wins the fight anyway. And that is the problem you can have on banana sometimes. Even if you have a decent flash lineup, if those Ts aren't properly peeking, if they dodge it, you're just going to give away the fact that you're peeking, and it gives Big a nice early kill.
Tabson at the ready with a flash. That's going to go up into top middle. Big have players in numbers through the top mid avenue. Hofmeister getting mollied out of pit. Twist trying to play on the top of the balcony. He actually gets 2 out of the M4A1S, both headshots as well. Very quick to get both of those. Now Brokey swings out. He had an opportunity to find 2, but with that player going down, it definitely throws a little bit of a spanner into the works now for Big. But luckily they find Carrigan, and they'll close things out. 7-3. I have to say, Big in these gun rounds, even if FaZe getting a couple of kills here and there, Big are always just a step ahead, right? They're always right back in it. They always have a protocol to get them back into the rounds, and it's been fantastic to see so far.
It's all worked out really nicely so far for Big. I think at the start of the round there, it's just an example of how hard it can be to have one CT playing passively to try and flash the other player into banana. That might work in matchmaking, but at the pro level, unless there's a really good timing on the flash, it's actually really hard to pull that off. You see that Keto is very much watching for that position as soon as he hears the flash come in. FaZe having to go for a half buy in this one. I like that they brought 4 smokes into this round. If Big went slow, then you could use those smokes in the late round. But instead, Twist has been caught early on top mid, and that leaves a good bit of the map open.
I love these contact openings the bigger are getting. They have a lot of these contact pushes where they walk up top, middle, up banana, and they're getting a lot of kills on unsuspecting FaZe players. Obviously in a round like this, it doesn't really mean as much. It's not as impressive, but they've even been doing it in these gun rounds as well, Sirius in particular. Oh, Xantaras. One of the best raw aimers we have in the game. But what he can do in a round like this, gets a double kill. Now Rand left alone. Beagle in hand versus 5 players. If you're FaZe, though, you obviously realize you're likely to concede this round, but you would like to get something out of it. You know, a couple of kills, just something. But they're not getting anything. They're just clean. They're effective. At least it's a merciful, quick kill going for big in that round. And once again, it's a buyout for FaZe, but we've got to see them start to deliver here. Opzone broke his hand yet again. They've had it out time and time again, but they need to start getting round wins.
Could be time for a 3B setup. I don't think we've seen FaZe go for that too often, and it's always nice to try and gain some map control early with those 3 players towards B. And it looks like FaZe are thinking exactly the same way as I am, Dinko. Yeah, I'll go for that 3B setup to try and take that early control. Rain going for the aggression. We saw this previously, but this time Keto is able to win the fight against him and get out alive.
16-04 on Keto, by the way. What a start to the day he's having. He's just tearing up these FaZe players in banana time and time again, just getting shredded. And when you win that banana fight so often at the beginning of a round on the T side, it makes the rest of the round just a little bit easier. And Brokey luckily peeking out long, finds Xantaras, but goes back to short, realizing he has opportunities in front of him. Brokey, good round from him so far, now sets up his teammates. Olofmeister in the corner, gets the final 2 kills, and it starts so well for Big. They get the opening in banana, but it's Brokey that makes a difference in the end.
It does feel like Brokey has been the one more consistent shining light for this FaZe roster, which you might not expect, honestly, but he's really developed into a player who consistently puts up the numbers, consistently has impact with that AWP, and the attention is so focused towards him that Olof is set up for 2 easy kills at the end of the round. We got 2 SGs out now for Big, so apparently if one SG fails you, try again with 2, see how that treats you.
Any problem can be solved with more Krieg. Alright, that's always the solution. And Sirison on beyond the smoke, and he has been a little bit sneaky so far. Again, that banana fight is won by Keto. Gets straight up quickly by Brokey on the wall, buying through the half wall. And Sirison, he realizes now, maybe I can't just sit back and wait for the kill. FaZe Clan are going to have to hold, and Sirison's going to walk up long, clearing out the archway, and because of that, gets spotted by Twist, who this time's on the A4, still clean on those headshots, and Olofmeister, oh, how does he not get a kill there? So close to taking down Xantaras, but Tabson and Xantaras double up to take down the A defense, and every single player from FaZe over at this side of the map falls. Bomb planted, and the round just becomes extremely difficult now for this retake.
Probably not worth attempting this, realistically.
Yeah.
Rain's sticking around. If he put his molly in the right spot, he could actually flush out 2 players, but obviously no way of knowing that, and no way of really putting that molly into position quickly enough. So FaZe save. They continue to find success here on Inferno.
It just shows how...
dead to the bomb.
Oh, it might get away. Nope. It was a little too close. Yeah, the blast radius is, when you plant default like that, it's quite far, actually. But, yeah, I think that's a round that just pretty much sums up how quickly a round can turn in favor of Big. And when they go back towards that A side, right, you just see a couple of missed shots. Twist starts well, you know, catches the AWP serious, and you think it's going to be a much better show from them. And then suddenly Olofmeister doesn't get a single kill. Twist goes down quickly. And Big immediately have enough time to get the bomb planted, and FaZe don't have the resources to go in for the retake. So it's definitely unfortunate. FaZe have been winning a couple of fights, but not enough, really. And it's a pretty scrappy buy coming for them in this one, so Brokey feels a little bit more pressure to try and go and open things up with that AWP. It is the big green gun, it's the expensive weapon. Unfortunately, Brokey not getting any opportunities in mid, but luckily this time, FaZe Clan have banana.
Has been a problem position for them so far, so Getting that control leaves them with more options, and one of those options is to rotate a fourth man over to A. Unfortunately, they've just lost Rain on B, so now that rotate that was going to come into A can't happen. Carrigan's got to go back to B to make sure they don't lose this bomb site. That'll leave FaZe a little weaker across the map. Nades into A, they take that top mid control.
And that's always the frustrating thing, right? When you have a player stuck in banana, that's why you often see teams leave AWPers there, because that fight is so important. And seriously, when he peeked out against a rifle at that long range, he has such a huge advantage. And that throws a big spanner into the works now for the defense. And Brokey needs the AWPer over at long. He's going to ring off a shot. Well, the flash is perfect. Tabson allowing Zantaz to take him down, but Twist knows a risk is needed and goes through the smoke to find a double. And now Big realizing they have to sprint into the B side. Carrigan playing in the smoke. He's trying to cause a few problems, just sitting here, letting them come through, and Carrigan luckily gets one. Keto looked like he was about to take him out just before Carrigan could get anything out of the round. With the bomb plant starting to come in, Twist goes through the smoke again, so close to denying the plant from CSGO, but unfortunately not landing enough damage. And FaZe Clan look to try and move through for the 2v2. They've pulled it into the 2v1, and Keto, he's gone aggressive into the ruins. He looks to try and wrap them, and if he gets the timing right, this could end the round. They have to be careful. Keto's got a good spot. He wants to turn it into a 1v1, but Twist has realized the possible wrap. Once they clear the back of the site, there's only one place he could have gone. And Twist quick on the headshot. What a round from him. Double push through the smoke, finding two, and closes it out with a third kill.
Chicken's getting his cardio in. Good to see.
I was on the treadmill, Alex.
Yeah. Oh man, that round is definitely an example of how important timings are in Counter-Strike. If Keto is maybe 1 or 2 seconds sooner on that push through ruins, I think he does get that flank kill onto Twist and puts it into a really winnable position. But instead, FaZe have cleared out so much of the site that Twist starts to become aware of the possible flank coming through the ruins, watches back for it. Nice awareness to be ready for that. FaZe get themselves one more round, and they've got a chance to try and get 6 at the half, but they've got to be ready for this fast play.
Oh, Twist is so clean with his M4. We have seen so many snappy headshots from him. The machine inside of his arm. And Brokey, he'll also back him up, but Olaf Meister coming in with a headshot. What a fantastic round from FaZe Clan. If that's how you're going to close out the half, you definitely wish you got a few more of those, but definitely a nice taste left going into the second half. And 9-6 isn't too bad, Alex. I mean, it's definitely doable.
Definitely doable indeed, especially if Twist keeps making plays like that. The M41S, it feels like has seen that little bit of resurgence lately, honestly. I don't know if I'm just seeing it as more from the team specifically in this tournament, but been some pretty cool moments. I know Tabson likes to use it too. Here comes Keto, but this time the pistol round won't be quite as successful for him.
Yeah, just one gets shredded out very quickly by Twist, and Tabson now goes aggressive. He's got one. A second kill, and Tizian's flank is working out perfectly. FaZe Clan have been sandwiched, and they're destroyed. 10 rounds are big, as they're up to double figures already, and these pistol rounds, they start off pretty balanced, right? You get the one kill in, coming in from Big, traded out quickly from Twist, but it's just conceding that mid control so quickly. Big coming up in behind, and once Tabson does well to be able to get away with just getting more than one, Tizian actually gets in with that flank, distractions all there. Everything works out for Big perfectly. FaZe Clan once again off to a bad start into a half. They didn't win the pistol in the last. They didn't win these Giga rounds either. I feel like they've kind of got to win one of these now.
Oh boy, Rain taking a bunch of early damage. The scout shot combined with the molly, and oh dear, the nades are coming in. He's able to dodge away from them. Keto spamming the smoke with the USP. Really trying to do something special, but won't be landing enough shots.
Yeah, obviously, when you fire with the USP, no traces really to be able to spot him out, so chance for damage, low risk for really getting dropped through it.
Ooh, aggression. Oh, yeah, I did not expect that. I like that from Tabson. Get aggressive behind the molly, get a bit of information. It is slightly risky, but risk worth taking to get that info, because now they know it's going to be the long play. Sisson has to go with the USP though, and now they're in trouble.
Zantara's in pit. Here's the bomb plant starting to come in. Wasn't too far off, landing those bullets through the smoke. But with FaZe Clan a man to the good in the bomb plant. You certainly start to favor the chances. That was the chance for Rain to get the kill to the pit player though, and now they run in. Keto's killing everybody, even his own teammates are getting some. And now Olofmeister and Brokey, all they've got to do is hold on, and that's easier said than done. The bomb's not planted. Out for Olofmeister, the headshot's in. Brokey nowhere near the site. And it all comes down, I think, that missed kill, right, from Rain. If he's able to get that into his pit, he can take that position. Luckily, Keto dives in with a distraction. He's able to get 2 out of it. Definitely a few moments there where you think FaZe Clan were about to take the round, but fantastic stuff out of Keto, taking the best situation he could out of the distraction.
Truly are seeing Keto Unchained here today. 21 for 9.
Wow.
Doing everything he can for Big, and he's been a big part of why they are up so heavily right now. 11-6 lead. Big's out on the other side.
I mean, Tizian's just lying back, relaxing right now, you know? It's like he's got his teammate just pop it off. 21 kills. Tizian hasn't really had to do much, but this one is where he might just be able to get some action going. Olofmeister quick in the deagle to get 1 although. And Searson quick to tread out from the right side of short. Searson needs to be careful though. Carrigan's going up with the deagle, not landing the shots though, unfortunately has to back away with nothing. They're going to run back into Banana. And currently waiting for them is Tabson. He's jumping just to get that information. Good Molotov, but the timing's kind of missed. She has to take the fight against Carrigan, and Twist just runs over the top of the fire. Good kill him from the deagle. And a 3 versus 2. Searson starting his flank. He's currently smoked off, so we'll actually likely play with the information of Keto. That's been smoked off again, but Keto doesn't really respect smokes. He doesn't know what they're there for. He just walks right through every single smoke. This time, only getting the 1 kill, but the nade is perfect from Xantares right on top of Brokey. That is beautiful.
Just a pure confidence play, honestly, from Keto. If you aren't confident and you push that smoke and lose the fight, you give away the M4, you give away a really good chance for FaZe to get back into the round. But Keto's been playing so well that you can't blame him. Trades at top mid were good to begin with. See there, Tizian may not have the most kills on the board, but he sets his team up for an easy 4v3 advantage. And then even though Tabson got caught out in the end, it still works out for Big. Run boost failed, so Searson won't get the chance for the fast peek down mid. Probably would have been an action-packed start to the round if he went for it, because FaZe have a couple of players of their own in position, including that AWP of Brokey. And really, this is FaZe's last chance to try and get back into this game. I think if they lose this, the comeback is too hard of a task to ask for.
Twist again, another clean headshot coming in from him. Searson peeking out towards top middle. Rain has been found. Luckily, Brokey was just waiting for that re-peek into short, and Tizian provides the trading kill back into the 3v3 again. And Twist, he's tasked with doing a lot. He's actually been performing very well so far in Inferno. He's up to 20 kills. Over on the CT side, has so many multi-frags coming in, just clean headshots across the board, and he's kept his team in it in this one. 50 seconds as they look to try and go into the B site. They'll re-smoke off CT to buy themselves even more time to secure the plant, potentially try and get that down for the post plant. Brokey is just making sure that everything is clear before he really feels confident about putting that bomb down. And another smoke in just buys him extra time. Not exactly planted for the late round at Banana. Maybe Brokey they're setting up for the post plant. No utility from Big.
Yeah, he's hanging around, but his teammate's nowhere near. So I assume he maybe just tries to see if there's anything he can do. Bit of damage, could be on the cards. Almost transfers back to the second man, but Brokey trades, and Searson will look to save that AWP. So FaZe back on track with their 7th round win. Twist has definitely been impressive. I think if you're someone who doesn't watch too much Counter-Strike, Twist is definitely a player to keep an eye on, just because he makes getting those snappy headshots look so easy, because the time to kill is so fast, when I can assure you it is not that easy to get these kills. But when he gets the kills so fast, it just looks so nice, so easy, so composed. Twist getting a couple of nice entries in this round, and that was much needed for FaZe.
Yeah, I think Twist is one of the players that kind of epitomizes makersy, right? Everybody's had that moment in their childhood or any point in their life quickly. Just watching something, like, I could do that. Then you try it and you realize how difficult it really is to do. I think what Twist does, he makes it look so simple. You know, just shoot him in the head. Just easy as that. But there's so many little mechanical nuances to it. Lots of micros. And I just think Twist is probably one of the best role aimers we've got. And luckily, I've said that about Xantares as well. And we have got two of the best role aimers in Counter-Strike on the server right now.
So far, Twist getting the better of that matchup in terms of kills. Not getting the better of the matchup in terms of scoreline, though.
I know which one I'd rather have. Yeah, stats, man.
Look down from Searson, the nades follow him, but he gets away. Xantares won't be as lucky though. Gap in the smoke, he gets caught out, and in comes Olaf. Good reaction shot. Searson unlucky not to get that kill. He's flanked out by Carrigan, and Tabson will come in. The P250 dishing out the damage, almost doubled down there, but Brokey fires back. Keto has been excellent so far, but surely this is a step too far.
Yeah, if I was serious and I get a refund on that AWP, that doesn't work out. It's a broken gun. Just not enough damage done. Very unlucky to have not gotten that kill. Keto, it's a great round for him to just add a few more kills to his tally. He's 24-11 already. He switches out to the AWP, so once he's got that in his hands, has to be the save call. Quickly going down Speedway, saving him to the next round and giving that over to Searson. FaZe Clan, I have to say, Twist has kept them in this. He's given them a few more rounds to play with and a lifeline back into this half. 12-8 up. Still very favourable for Big right now, but at least FaZe have a chance, something they didn't have a long time ago.
I think those opening kills here on T side are going to be an important piece of the puzzle for FaZe. I was looking at some of the stats on their T side for some of their more aggressive players, and they have had some struggles getting those early kills. Carrigan and Rain are the two players you expect to go in first most, and they do, but Carrigan's only winning 28% of his T side opening fights in the last 3 months. That's a pretty low number, even if he is trying the entry a lot. And then Raid isn't much better at 37%. So their two kind of most common entry players are struggling quite heavily in some of those early fights in the last couple of months. Let's hope that can turn around here, because Carrigan got a good couple of kills in that one.
Yeah, it's certainly important to be good at those entries, especially in the meta we're currently in, right? Teams like Virtus Pro really start dominating due to their just entry ability. And I was kind of disappointed because Carrigan, towards his end of his tenure in mouse sports, his individual ability and the events he was closing out with was incredibly high. So a bit unfortunate to see it be quiet here. Peek out from Tabson. Twist catching him. Waiting for the aggression this time. FaZe not going for the fights, instead waiting for Big to throw something at them. And maybe waiting around for Searson's not the right call though. He's just walked straight down and taking Carrigan out of play. And Olaf Meister looking to scrap back if he can, but they have info now. The AWP is currently on the A side, so maybe we should just start turning our attentions to the other part of the map. And the B side certainly looking like a much more susceptible site to fall, and it's going to be Twist taking down Keto.
Smoke into CT. Looked like it might have a gap for a second, but it's good enough to get them the cross. Nice play from Olaf in this round too. I think he had an important part to play in just pressuring that A site a little longer, keeping those big players stuck on the A site, thinking that it could have been an A play as he played in the apartments. I think it makes sense for Olaf to be playing in those apartments too. Those are position on T side and CT side where the positioning is very important. And so far, I think Olaf's positioned himself pretty well throughout this game. There's that aim of Xantares that we were talking about. Great deagle shot onto Rain. And a chance to save an AK.
About 720 there as well as he picked up the gun, just spinning around. I have to say, shout out to Rush, our observer, wonderful observer Rush. Everybody loves him, everybody knows him. His camera pass have been beautiful, just telling the story of this game so far, Alex, and lots of different views, lots of different angles. Master of the cinematography. Maybe Rush, maybe his skills are maybe even wasted on this, you know? Maybe it could be on big movie productions. Rush could be winning Oscars at this point.
Maybe one day CS broadcast will.
Look at that smooth camera movements. The tracking now is incredible. What an observer.
Zantares with an AK on the CT side is a terrifying prospect. Those nades up Banana have got them off to a good start though. Keto's down to 33 health. Sis is trying to see if he can hang around, but now Rain has taken some damage in reply from some CT nades. So a fairly even exchange of utility early. That is going to be part of the problem for these entry players on Inferno. You oftentimes will have to take that early nade damage. Rain this time being the man, taking the brunt of it, and Twist with some unreal shots into the B-bomb site they go, and Tabson has to try and save the day. He's got one kill back, but he's going to be locked out of the site, and Twist may have just won this round by himself.
That is precision. That is just absolute precision coming in from Twist and Tabson right through the smoke. Tizian's near kill getting something. Olofmeister at least treading back, keeping it at 2v2. And he's arrived to the party, maybe a little fashionably late, but he's here and ready to play in for this post plant. Time ticking. Tizian, he's been quiet so far. Zantares just waiting in the back lines. Flash is going in. Time starting to really become a limiting factor, and Olofmeister's let them run past. Now the smoke reveals Olofmeister's deadly frag, and Tizian snaps onto the head of Olofmeister, throws the smoke down onto the bomb. Twist, he's not getting the spam right. Oh, he's not done it. Tizian right to the smoke, steals away the round. The defuse in the final seconds. The dying embers deliver big around.
Oh, and it's absolute heartbreak for Twist. I thought he was going to open up the round and close it. Great headshot on the first plan, but I think the second one may be even better. Tabson does a good job at just keeping it close enough, though, then forces the issue through the smoke. I like the play from Olof in the midst of the smoke as well, but Tizian just locks it in, and unfortunately for Twist, the spray slightly off initially. That's what ends up costing him. Still not a bad position for FaZe as, oh, Sisson taking a lot of early damage. Twist taking some of his own, but no kills confirmed just yet.
Yeah, well, this is a much needed breather round at the start of this one. Back up on top of the smoke. Tabson looking to peer over the smoke, and it's actually a shallow smoke. Get a little too deep there. Tabson's going to find Rain on the edge of it. That'll deliver big their opening. For FaZe, that's an awful start. Rain has lost a lot of these openings. If you remember back in the first half as well, and towards Banana was often the victim. And here as well in the top mid walkout, just getting caught from the boost. Oh, Tabson so close to the smoke. Grenade goes soaring, able to catch them. It's close and it finds Brokey. Luckily, Carrigan runs right through the smoke and gets the trade kill. The battle of the in-game leaders, at least Carrigan wins out the infight, but Tabson gets something before falling. Olofmeister luckily getting a headshot onto Tizian. Bigger damage, they're low on health across multiple players, but Zantares, he has the pit, and because of that, the positional advantage delivers 2 kills. Olofmeister and Twist both fall in tandem, and now it is Carrigan. He's been quiet, but now he starts to ignite. He's found 2, and now really needs to get the Inferno blazing. He looks in the pit, but Zantares, again, just using that position while using the cover to peek on out and give himself these favorable fights. Carrigan goes down. A brilliant round from Zantares.
That might genuinely be one of the best plays I've seen with the FAMAS. Not because it's a crazy play, but because it's the bloody FAMAS. My FAMAS
really hit the FAMAS, Alex, don't you? If you really hit that gun.
Yeah, probably because I'm bad, but, you know, it's still betrayed me too many times. Yeah, great play from Zantares, though. A lot of quick kills with the FAMAS, which isn't always going to get you those quick opportunities. Now he's got an AK in his hands because of it. You were pointing out the Rain opening kill stats. He is, I believe, 1 for 9 in opening duels. That is tough. It's been a tough game for him. That's what Inferno can be sometimes for those entry fraggers, though. If you're just running into those tight choke points, it can be pretty hard to get things going. And now FaZe might be on their last legs here. They've had to force up. Good early utility damage, though. Tizian and Tabson both taking some good damage early. That might help open up this round for FaZe.
Molotov thrown in towards short smoke, landing in towards the A site. It's going to be an early rotation from Big. Once they hear the utility, they're going to send players over towards A. 4 players standing over here now for the CT side. Tizian has taken significant damage, but he is the rifler, and the flash is good from Zantares. That allows him to get the kill, even though he's low in health. Down onto Rain. Carrigan and Olofmeister. It's an absolute sweep up here from Big. Every kill towards short, and Twist is desperately trying to find something. A leaping Keto through the smoke, and Twist takes his head right off. Oh, he nearly gets another one. You can never really count Twist out. He's 27 and 16. You know, as much as FaZe are having a very bad time right now, Twist is having a great time individually. He has had some of those disgusting headshots so far in this game, and it's just very sad to see them only on 9 rounds.
It really goes to show the risk of not keeping Twist in your lineup. Like, if you're Team Liquid, obviously you're happy with how your lineup's looking right now, but God, Twist, if you can get the most out of him, he really can be one of the best players in the world. We're getting to see that here, even if FaZe aren't finding too many rounds. They're 15-9 down. They're going to try and do something with the pistols. Olaf has been caught out early. Rain seeing what he can do. He may get a chance to sneak up here. Nice headshot with the Deagle. More needs to be done, though, because his teammates are falling around him.
Right, walks right into the hallway, and Tizim was that in the corner. It's all done. 16-9 coming in for Big. It's a convincing win here at Inferno. This is the map pick of FaZe Clan as well. It's not been the best start coming into the day for FaZe. We'll see if they can bounce back in the second hours. I'm really looking forward to seeing if they can do that. But it's not for us to break down. In fact, it's over to the desk. Sadagist, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys. First time we've seen Inferno in this event. And you guys, Maniac and Blay, you mentioned that this was a legit veto, and we got a legit game out of it. Big looked really good.
You are right, and I am very happy about it. I am so happy. Not that I don't like Clown Counter-Strike, but from time to time it's great to see competitive happening. And this is what we have. Honestly, this is competitive. Counter-Strike. That one, you can coin that one. You have it. I think it's really great. Counter-Strike. I'll say that on my stream.
That's what Cloud9 does.
Oh, can we just leave it alone? Like for so many years, like it's all right. It's already dead.
It's dead. Yeah.
Right, well, we've got a new one now. They're gone from Counter-Strike, so Clowner-Strike has to be the new one.
It was a really great game, honestly. I'm glad to see Big kind of make a statement on Inferno as well, because as it was very rightfully mentioned by our casters, they've been in a love and hate relationship with that map for a while, banning it, picking it, letting it slide away, now playing it again. We saw some individuals pop off. Keto is not necessarily the one that you have on the top of the list in terms of who is supposed to frag on Big, honestly, and it was great to see them really try having, you know, that go-get-it mentality, and I appreciated the show quite a lot.
Right. I was gonna. We both didn't want to talk because I know you want to jump in on that, but I also want to look at some of the other aspects of it too, because Big played very well. FaZe was still struggling a bit. Twist did have a good game, but the team coordination wasn't there. I mean, even just at the end of it, round 22 looks like they're gonna have a comeback. Smoke diffused. FaZe just can't seem to control the map and get that essential, I guess, territory that we know Inferno for. And you were mentioning that the contact plays from Big were really good.
Yeah, it was, and also doesn't really. I mean, it makes it so much easier when Keto looks almost unplayable in the first half, right? I think we went 8-1 in opening duels.
Yes.
On the other side, you have Rain, who went 1-9. It was a part of a lot of these opening contact plays. It just didn't work out. So the downfall of Rain, it seems to continue even in a game where, even in a map which they picked. The biggest problem I saw for FaZe in the first half was just the lack of map control, right? They tried to fight Banana a couple of times, but as I alluded to earlier in the green room, like Big, just these contact plays is great trading ability, just completely getting that map control, and then they're having to rely on the players on the A bomb side to play just, you know, turtled up, having a couple of crossfires being set up. And it did come down to Twist. Even the rounds they won, a lot of them came down to Twist just showing how good he can be individually. Brokey had his moments as well with AWP, a couple of rounds where he popped off, ably helped out by Olaf as well. But you can clearly see, like, individually, even though Keto popped off for the side of Big, everyone was pitching in, everyone was doing the job. They seemed to have better ideas, they had better protocols. When the chips were down in certain rounds, they were able to just bounce back as well. And this is the map pick from FaZe, mind you. So again, the problems in the FaZe camp, it continues to be laid bare for everyone to see, because Big just made it look so very simple.
Yeah, Kerrigan as well, only 8 kills. We'll look at the MVP. Obviously, you guys have touched on it enough already. Keto takes the cake on the winning side. You know, Twist gave him a run individually, but Keto ultimately comes out on top in this battle as the rest of his team was there. I do want to touch on Rain, though. You mentioned it. I think he finished with 5 kills in total. Rain often doesn't get enough credit as a star player because he quietly goes about business. He's more about efficiency and decision making than being flashy. But I think if you look at the history of FaZe, they're most successful when he is the most successful player on the team because he can do that. And it's an interesting thing to note with all that firepower, Maniac, that, you know, he is a key component of this team.
Yeah, he really is. I agree with you. I also think that it would be disingenuous not to say that he had a fallout in terms of level and performances. I don't think he would be honest to, you know, pretend like he's been performing like the 2017 years. That's not the case anymore. When Olaf came back during Blast, Rain had massive performances, and we argued, we made the point that maybe this is like a motivational issue, right? Olaf is back, they're feeling good, they're playing together in most of these sites, and it's going well. Unfortunately, in that game, he was nowhere to be found. Absolutely nowhere to be found. When we're not 1 duels, 1 out of 10 entry, that is such a huge component of Counter-Strike. So complicated performance on the individual side for Rain. You mentioned Kerrigan as well. We talked about it with Blay in the virtual green room that we have, and to what extent do we now allow IGLs to not be fragging? And I think that ship has sailed. That ship has sailed. Like, you have to be putting in the way, you have to be putting in frags. And for the longest time, I thought Kerrigan was definitely still able to do it. But if you look at the last 3 months and their endeavors, it hasn't really panned out. So, and I'm kind of a bit saddened by it.
Yeah, it has. I think at this point there's so much skill, and some of the younger in-game leaders especially have been brought up on that skill that they're able to frag, and you're absolutely right. There's been a lot of criticism for people like that. Kerrigan certainly has his moments. Hopefully he can find one. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will focus on map 2 of this series, and can FaZe recover, or is it Big that's going to be going on to the winner bracket? We'll find out in just a sec.
With COVID-19, no one is safe until everyone is safe. Why do we say this? Our world is more interconnected than ever. Our economies and societies rely on international trade and travel. Just as this brought wealth and opportunity, it has made it easier for viruses to spread rapidly.
Nuke, correct?
Today, COVID-19 cases have been reported in almost every country in the world. This makes it vitally important that when safe, effective vaccines for COVID-19 become available, they become available for everyone at the same time. COVAX is a partnership aimed at making this happen. Launched by Gavi, CEPI, and WHO, COVAX offers countries access to the largest portfolio of potential vaccine candidates. By participating in COVAX, countries are not only reducing their risk, but they are contributing to a global solution by helping fund vaccines for countries that cannot afford to do so. By making their population safe, governments can help to make everyone safe. One world, protected.
Emergencies always cause shortages because you have this immediate spike in demand, and the supply chain, the distribution, the roads, the warehousing, the trucks, and the information that drives it all gets broken. In a way, every emergency is a logistics and distribution problem. You have to reallocate resources rapidly, and you're doing it with very poor information because it's unfolding. Directly's been around 72 years. I don't think anyone's seen where you have a simultaneous emergency everywhere. So the demand spike for medical material, PPE and ventilators and masks and gloves and gowns and goggles expands overnight. Direct Relief, we've said the best thing we can do is put these philanthropic resources towards those frontline health workers that rely heavily on the support of groups like ours, while also backstopping the hospitals because they're in a crisis of kind of historic proportions. We do work in 100 countries a year. We work in all 50 states on an ongoing basis. You want to save everyone you can and prevent as many people from falling sick and needing severe help. So that's how Direct Relief has approached it. this is one that is an equal opportunity threat to everybody. So we're trying to do our best in a fair, equitable, thoughtful way, doing whatever we can to get help to people where they need it, when they need it, as fast and efficiently as it can be done.
Back again with Gamers Without Borders, and as you saw during the break, this is for a great cause: vaccines to communities and countries that otherwise can't afford them. And I think it is very important that we get this distributed. The pandemic affects everyone. Doesn't matter about background, culture, race, financial class, doesn't matter. So everyone deserves the right to the vaccine just as equally. It's just as important. So great cause. We've got a cause for concern because FaZe got beat on Inferno. We head to Nuke next, and we talked about Rain's lack of performance, but we also need to see perhaps a rebound from FaZe. They've got one of the lowest win percentages of any team this year. They haven't played a lot of matches, to be fair, but I mean, this has just been a struggle, guys. Heading into Nuke, Maniac, you highlighted some players that we wanted to touch on. Why?
Well, my problem, Matt, is that I struggled to even pinpoint one player, because very recently, the last two times FaZe played Nuke, they managed to win respectively 5 and 5 rounds. So it's been dry. It's been extremely dry. It's been quite complicated. We know that Nuke is a map that is very cohesion demanding, if I can say. We know like rotations have to come out. If we have to pick players, right, I think the name that I'm going to mention is Brokey. He is still a bright, shining light as far as I'm concerned when it comes to FaZe. He doesn't really let me down in series. I think he's still a clutch factor. He's still a very explosive AWP, and probably the one player that hasn't disappointed me in that run for FaZe. So I'm looking at Brokey, but he's going to have a lot to do because, as I say, on a team perspective, it's been complicated to say the least.
It has been complicated. I mean, Brokey, for me, I mentioned at the very top of the show, and again, it is a long time ago, the Boston Major, because that was when this dream team was created, right? This FaZe dream team, and they were so good. They really started to deliver, but they couldn't win finals. They lost Katowice in a final, they lost the Boston Major in a final, and they made changes. They forced themselves because of the pressure. I'll even say it because of some of the ego within the team. And when they brought Brokey in, Blay, I thought, okay, this is good. This is them saying, hey, we need to reset. We need fresh talent. This isn't always going to work out for us. And it still didn't seem to work out, but this kid is a good talent.
Oh yeah, for sure. At this point, you can't even call him like a newbie in this team, right? He's been around for a while, and during the dry spell for FaZe, I mean, it's still kind of dry right now. But even then, he was the guy who was kind of like holding the flag high. This is before Carrigan came in, when Rain was starting to drop off a little bit. You look at Brokey, like this guy is playing like a star player in his team. So absolutely, I feel like it's a good pick coming in here from Maniac. He is a player to watch. Even in the previous game, we saw Twist pop off, but Brokey was also the other player there who was looking very, very solid. The A-bomb side with the AWP, winning some very hard-earned rounds. They only won 6 rounds here, of which I think at least 2 or 3 was because of Brokey's AWP. So heading into Nuke, CD side especially, with that AWP, he needs to pull off something massive if they want to take it to map number 3.
I think that's absolutely true. And of course, Nuke, this will be the second time we've seen it in this event. I had to think about that because it was crazy. We didn't see Inferno. We did see it once. We saw Hades downstairs with the AWP a lot, but it still is a map that I think has developed so well. Outside control just as important as ever for you guys. Have we seen much development? Do we expect anything a little bit different out of these guys today in terms of just taking battles maybe toward ramp?
I think Nuke is probably the map that has the most evolved. If you think about the map pool, obviously you have to put Ancient in a different category because it is brand new territory. But I think teams and overall T sides have developed so much and have diversified so much. We went from a meta which is basically a wall of smoke and then diverse ending surrounds to now having different smokes, having outside yard focused map control, T's taking heaven control with cities pushing inside. This turns into like a chess game of I take that part of the map control, so you have to retake this, and then we have to rotate and kind of 4D chess the whole thing. So Nuke is a very, very exciting map, very a live map in a way. It's like the round always moves. There's not any stale situation. It's always about taking some parts and then reclaiming some control. So Nuke is a very fun map to watch right now. And who would have thought if you'd tell that 5 years ago when it was basically 14-1 and 13-2?
Yeah, and it's weird because there's kind of like a weird, like, I know exactly what you're saying. We want to see a close game throughout to keep us engaged, but there was always that nice thing about Nuke where these crazy comebacks would also happen. But it was almost a little bit too predictable, right? Like it was kind of like you need the pistol round T side to have any chance, whatever. But you're right, it's evolved, and I do love Nuke now. I think they've balanced it very well, and it is a map that obviously is stacked and layered. But unlike Vertigo, there's still extremities that are more spread out than Vertigo, and I think I really like it play. I think it's one of my favorite to cast. We talked about this yesterday too. Everyone's gotten better on it, we think, partly because of the fact that Astralis dominated on it and it forced people to have to improve the map.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like Nuke, if you compare to Vertigo, this is a verticality in Counter-Strike maps done right. You look at even Overpass. Even Overpass, in my opinion, is kind of like a spiritual successor to Nuke, right? It's got that A side, B side, dynamic up and down thing. So yeah, Nuke, with minimal changes in the past few years, I just love how teams started to adapt and gotten even better. Where at this point, I think there was an interview recently where a lot of players said, a lot of IGL said, this might be one of the best maps in the pool right now.
Yeah, and FMPO touched on that. Verticality is one of the hardest things to do in map design due to gravity, due to rotation. Here's guys with great weight and great gravity in their voice. It's Dinko and Haka. That'll take us through game number 2. Guys, jump into it.
Thank you very much. Jumping right into Nuke, definitely one of my favorite maps in the current map pool, Alex. It's definitely evolved. Like Maniac said, there's so much exciting differences you can see coming out on the board. It's definitely one of the maps that's seen the T side become much stronger than it used to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Big can do on that T side as they get off to a start here. It's going to be a ramp play coming in. All of Meister is looking to defend.
Playing it patiently. And eventually getting the chance and finding a nice reaction shot. Flicking to the right side where Xantares was peeking it. In comes Keto though. Quick trade. However, they have to be ready for twists. Someone who was doing a lot earlier on in Inferno decides to fall back. Tizian, can't get that kill. The player just runs past him. And it's Carrigan who actually finds one.
What, Carrigan and Brokey definitely doing good work here for FaZe Clan. They need a good start coming into Nuke. And Tabson looks to try and ruin that, but 1 HP and a Dream's not enough. Dreams never come true, Alex. And while it's FaZe Clan winning the pistol round, I have to say, very good start into this one. And when you look at the performance out of FaZe Clan, they definitely need to just sort of forget about Inferno. And a good start getting the first couple rounds on the board is something they just didn't do over on Inferno, right? They lost both pistols, the follow-up rounds of the Deagles. There was a few hit-and-miss moments there, but getting the pistol round win, if they can follow up and convert this, they definitely can get themselves a good start into Nuke.
Nice quick response as well, having that fast rotate down to the B site preemptively. I love how Twist doesn't just stand and fight to the death either. He makes sure to stay alive because he realizes he can wait for his teammates to get into position. It's not the end of the world, but here comes a fast play from Big, straight into the A-bomb site.
Yeah, quick play, Susan opening things up. Keto, Xantares, and Tabson getting shots between them, and this is not how the script should have gone for FaZe Clan. It's completely crumbled on the defense, and Twist tries his best, but everybody was already dead. And that's what can happen when you go for some of those quicker plays, Alex. Straight out in towards the site, through the HUD. It's so hard to stop when you've got Tech9's Deagles running you down, and Big just land every important shot, and at that point, you've just got Twist left alone. What can you really do there? That's a nightmare for FaZe.
Just shows how you have to be on your toes at all times, on Nuke especially, because you know there's a decent chance in that second round a team is just going to hit you with the fast A play, and I think you have to be ready for that. You have to be thinking ahead as to how you're going to deal with that. Are you going to molly and nade and try and just fight, or are you going to sit back and maybe play retake? Because that's absolutely an option too. If you've got loads of nades, you can concede the bomb plant there, maybe play back from heaven, but FaZe wanted to try and fight for the site. Didn't work out for them. Big win every single duel initially, and now they've got themselves a chance to put FaZe back down in the dumps early, but Twist might have something to say about that.
Yeah, I was just about to say Twist down with the Deagle, but it's Carrigan that is getting most out of the Deagle. 2 kills came in for him, and now a 3v2. They go up the vent, and all the rotations have come down to the B site from FaZe, so that A site's completely open right now. What a call from Big.
Really nice mid-round read. going to be able to get that bomb down safely. Maybe Tabson has some words to say from beyond the grave to get them up to this clear bomb site, but now that it's into the clutch scenario, I'm sure it will be silent in the team speak. Tizian trying to see if he can find a kill. Nice angle on the edge of the smoke. Brokey not able to force the trade, and he eventually does so with the deagle up to Searson, but he also hits the deck. Brokey with 2 important frags. He was the player that our analyst pointed out in the pre-game, and he showed up to give FaZe an all-important early round.
What is this game? So back and forth, the pistol round win for FaZe, they lose the follow-up, and now they're right back on the board again. It comes down to that play from Big. They go down secret, they walk into the B site, Twist gets one, but it's Carrigan that delivers the impact kills on the deagle. Forces Big to go up, and they make the right call, but it's just Brokey getting those picks in towards main. That's what you need to do, really. At the end of the day, like every player interview that anybody's ever give, just hit your shots, play your game, and FaZe Clan win the round because of it.
Just hit your shots, forehead. It's easy.
FaZe are a great team, they just need to work on communication.
That's what Twitch chat would be like as a coach, though, surely. Just hit your shots, guys.
It's like if we could turn Twitch chat into a human being, like somehow just pull every aspect of Twitch chat and put it into a human being.
Oh my god, I've thought of the best idea ever for a show match, Dinko. You get 2 separate Twitch chats, and they have to choose the strategy for the team in every round. They get to vote. Oh my god.
No, that would be awful. That would
be amazing. Rush B, everybody.
maybe we should try that. Maybe we should get that going somewhere. Although in this round, it has certainly got going. Olaf Meister, Rain. Now the 2 remaining players of FaZe Clan. Rain had a very quiet performance over on Inferno. We'd love to get a good start into this one. Try and open things up, be a little bit more confident, get flowing. They're on Nuke, and he has a chance. But the issue is Tizian down at secret. He's taking that kill easily. Now it's just Antares. Oh, Rain finds his head as well. 3 kills, 3-1. FaZe Clan in the lead. And definitely would have liked to have been at this point. Up 3 rounds, but maybe 3 in a row. They didn't expect to lose the second round after the pistol win. But if you're going to do that, answering back quickly with your deagles as well can be the correct call. And now they've got another round where they don't have anything left. They've just got Glock. So this should be 4-1 for FaZe Clan. No problem on the CT side.
There we go. Hopefully, for FaZe Clan's sake, they can get some confidence from this, because it is literally 4 Glocks and a P250, and this time they are ready for the A play. Easy lineup for Rain. He mops up 3 kills early. Brokey there to help out. Good stuff from FaZe, and that's what I'm really hoping to see here from FaZe. I want to see those individuals that maybe had a quieter time show up, because players like Rain, we know, can be really good individual players. They can be stars. Maybe we didn't see that on Inferno, but I want the people at home to see it here on Nuke, and I think we're starting to see some glimpses of that now.
Utility coming out from Brokey, just trying to create a few problems for Searson, but he doesn't care. He's just going to keep walking up on the edge of the smoke, hits the shot as well. But once again, Searson gets a little unlucky through the clipping and ends up not being enough damage for the kill, and Rain's going to open things up. Twist down a secret. Searson just pulled his knife and Twist walked right into him. He was aware, thanks to the information passed on from his teammate, that there was likely a player around that area, so Twist was getting ready and primed for it, and Searson was completely oblivious.
Searson was caught trespassing there. Oh, and Rain on the ladder. You're so close that you don't even care about the inaccuracy. Eventually the shots are going to land. 1-by-1 fights throughout this round. Rain was the man to get the initial kill too on the door fight. He spammed through the smoke to take down Tizian early, and Hito, he's a 1v5 on his hands, but Rain is not going to let that happen. Really nice start from Rain.
Yeah, this is the start you needed to forget about Inferno. First of all, FaZe Clan results-wise, getting rounds on the board, something that was limited over on Inferno, but also Rain just getting a good start individually, just trying to forget about that bad performance. It's always better to get in the right mindset. When you start planting the good seeds, the good thoughts, they produce more, right? You reap what you sow, Alex. It is true, the cliche. So, good to see FaZe in this situation. A much better start on Nuke. And Big, it's once again pistols for them. It's been kind of frustrating for Big, I would say, in the first couple of these rounds. They haven't had the weapons you would like to see from them. The purchases have mainly been around pistols, and even when they get the rifles out, maybe the utility's lacking. But Twist has given them a nice opportunity there, and they're going to take that.
Yeah, you can see why Twist thought he might be safe there, just jumping for info against the pistols, but Tabson lands a great dink initially, and now Rain has to be careful. Under pressure from a couple of angles, he's got Brokey here to help, but Brokey's been blinded, so Rain has to fight alone, and he's doing a really good job at it. Now it looks like he's got backup. Santara is the only man left alive on the big side, and while he will get a kill onto an unsuspecting Carrigan, he won't get much more. Nice save there from FaZe, because that looked scary for a second.
Rain has to have been in the bathroom just like hyping himself up, looking in the mirror, telling himself how amazing he is, Alex, because he has just come in here a completely different player. This is unbelievable. 12-3 up against pistols, of course, but just the way he was getting those kills was so clean, so snappy. And I love how they all just turn around and look at the players just disappear, just into the void. What's happened?
Oh, it's not a good magic trick.
No. Especially because he didn't really teleport anywhere. He just disappeared for good into the void. No one's even going to find him. But, of course, we should be getting a little restart so the economy issue won't come in. Hopefully we'll get it back on the server quickly. I'm actually kind of surprised Big have started so slowly, because a lot of their T-sides on Inferno were just very effective, quick at getting those contact plays, getting a lot of those opening kills, but the only round they've won is a rush into the A site with pistols. A couple of their outside pushes haven't been working. They have got serious enough out there alone, just trying to play gimmicky up on top of the boxes. Nothing's really come out for Big. It feels like they're a little disjointed, a little slow to start on the T side, and I'd like to see that change. Maybe this pause can allow them to mentally reset coming into the gun rounds, because Big definitely need to change something up at least.
I think you're right. I think there have been a couple of oversights from Big. You pointed out the rounds where Citizen's been fighting on top of Yard. Obviously, the round where he went down, Secret too, with his knife out.
Yeah.
Not ready for someone to be there so soon. So I think Big are getting into okay positions. It's just so far the fights haven't been working out for them. You know, I don't think the fights they're taking have been too terrible. I just think they've been losing them right now. So I don't think it's the end of the world for Big, but it's definitely a better start for FaZe. Someone I will be keeping my eyes on throughout Nuke is Tabson on the Big side of things. Very cerebral player, very smart player, and oftentimes the IGLs I find do better on Nuke than a lot of other maps because of that. If you just look at how Nuke plays out, there are a lot of timing windows, a lot of nades, for example, that are going to start the rounds off. So Tabson can oftentimes, I think, get ahead of that and outposition his opponents. And that's why Tabson has actually been the best player on Nuke for Big in the last 6 months. He's been their highest rated player on this map. So definitely we'll be seeing what Tabson can do as we go ahead and sit in this forklift at the start of the round. Another amazing piece of camera work from Rush.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. That's why they call him the best in the biz. And while we jump into round 8, it's not a lot of utility right now for Big, but I'm interested to see how they get a little with a lot. They're quite good at doing that. Gonna spam at the start through the hut, trying to dish out some early damage. But for the most part, just a slower start from Big, just taking the liberties in towards the lobby, stay outside of ramp, and once the initial spam wars comes to a close, they can figure out what they like to do. And again, it's putting Searson outside alone. You do often see this from Big, where they will send Searson out there alone. They leave him there, and they're very confident in his abilities, and you can definitely see why. But Tizian, he's going to get that open. I thought Carrigan was about to get the drop on them with some of that lobby aggression, but Tizian's aware, great opening, and now we do look to Twist, who has won that battle against Searson before. If he could do it here, that would be a fantastic kill to get back for FaZe Clan. And Searson, he needs to be careful because he's got no one beside him for this trade, and I don't think he's going to be expecting Twist to have walked up so much. But if he goes the other way, he would walk into the scope. So it's all about taking the right avenue, and he's done that. Searson goes down.
Oh, nice shot from Brokey too. The first player crouched, but he hits the man behind. And Rain up to 14 kills now as he closes out the round with the AK. I think FaZe may have done their homework here, Dinko, because as you just pointed out, it's pretty common for Big to put Searson alone on yard like that with the AWP. I think he opens up a lot of their plays for them because he can exert so much pressure in that position by himself. But sometimes that means he is going to be very vulnerable to being pushed like that. And so the fact that Twist just walks up and isn't even scared of any players being around, I think that shows that maybe they have done a bit of homework. They found a couple of things that could specifically work against Big, and so far so good for them.
Rain immediately down here on the B side. Tabson tried to up the pace a little bit, but this time Wayne is ready for it. Tizian running over the top of Brokey. Deagle headshot. And Twist is back garage this time. He even wins out the draw, the M4A1S at range. The AWP didn't get the time to get ready, so Twist is just so quick to get the headshot. Repositions back and spots Keo. Twist is just having a field day today with that M4A1S, really making me start to reconsider, Alex. Maybe it is a good gun. Maybe I should add it to my collection.
Got the Python on the skin. He has been a slippery player so far on the server. This time, though, Xantares takes him out with the D. Maybe that's what Big need to take out Twist. The aim that we were talking about from Xantares. Unfortunately, it won't lead to much else. Raiders just consistently been racking up frags. I know not many of them have been fancy, but another one there, up to 15 kills. He's been locking down that A-bomb site. And for Big, I wonder what the switch up is. Maybe it is time for a round where they do just go for full yard presence early with a bunch of their players. Maybe just try and get down secret. You know, it feels a bit standard, maybe a bit obvious, but sometimes that can be the sort of switch up you need to force FaZe back. Because, like you were saying, right now Twist is getting a lot of success at yard.
Oh, Xantares, that's a huge opening. Carrigan goes down through the hut spam, and Big have been attempting that at the beginning of most rounds. Luckily, Twist is choosing his positions wisely. You never really see him in the same spot twice, rounds back to back. And now Brokey realizes with his teammates going down, maybe a little bit of a risk play through the ramp push has to come in. And Rain, unfortunately from the rafters, unable to dish out anything. This is a much better round from Big. It's quick, it's hot and heavy, and they get all of those openings. That's a difference maker, because a lot of the start of the rounds for Big have involved no opening kills for them, right? It's been, and even if they do, it's get traded out very quickly by FaZe, but that's a much better round for Big. It obviously does come down to a little bit of luck as well in terms of Xantares getting that opening through the hut wall, but they capitalize on it, they get that opening, and they quickly crunch on the side.
He did a bit better at trading out Twist this time too, because he picked an annoying angle over towards yard where he could just spot those players dropping onto main. It's a nice position to play to catch one player out, but Big were really quick at communicating that, really quick at trading him out, which was important to keep on top of the round. Here comes Carrigan, flashed into yard. Tabson was blind on the other side, but Carrigan just decides to play up close and personal. He hears that molly being thrown. Tabson not ready for Carrigan. Battle of the IGLs goes the way of FaZe.
Oh, Olofmeister couldn't get away. He was trying to run into the corner, threw the molly down to try and get back and buy in time, but it didn't work out at all. Olofmeister gets caught, and now Big have the advantage, but Ray's rotated down to the B site. This time, Tizian gets the better of it. And the player that has been so good for them so far, Twists, and he's now the only player alive. This might even be a step too far. Couldn't quite get the angle onto Tizian, who did hang around in the upper ledge and gets the headshot to close out the round for Big. Another one added to the collection. Maybe this is the start of their comeback on the T side. They finally put the economy of FaZe in a very difficult spot. We're going to see a Nova come in. We've seen another Nova. We've seen it yesterday. That was NIP buying it in very strange circumstances. In this kind of round, I can get behind it. We'll see what Carrigan can do.
The thing with the Nova is, it's just so cheap that if you get one kill with it, it's basically already worth. So that's what Carrigan will be hoping for, and at this close range, it could definitely work. Oh, how is that just 37 damage? This is why the Nova is garbage.
Did he shoot him in the legs? I think maybe, but that is just very unfortunate right there for Carrigan. And because he got over the top of the medal, Carrigan had fully tunnel visioned that kill and didn't look elsewhere. A little bit unlucky, but I love it. I love the play from Carrigan. That's a matchmaking special right there for me, Alex. Rush hut. always fun to do. And Tizian is taken, or range should I say, gets taken out of play by Tizian at the start of this one. And for Big, it's all about just being disciplined here, not giving anything away, limiting the casualties, building the money up, because they have had a pretty quiet start. So if you can get that economy going, you'll be able to buy for the majority of the rounds left in this half. Who knows what sort of scoreline Big can pull back here. They have already lost the half by a minimum of 1. If they can pull this half all the way back to 8-7, they'd be extremely happy with that.
Olaf doing a bit of damage, but yeah, Tizian with a nice quad kill. I think for Big, the difference in these gun rounds has, in decent part, just been down to the pace they've been putting up against FaZe, and I think that might be the solution, honestly. When you know FaZe have been having a tumultuous time as of late, you know they've had to bring Olaf into the lineup. Quicker plays could maybe stress out those rotations, could maybe stress out some of those trades. We saw them go for the fast play into ramp earlier, which Olaf wasn't ready to deal with. But we'll see if they continue with the fast-paced play. It looks like it. Kito's through the smoke, and Olaf isn't ready for them.
And it all makes sense as well, right? Because that's the kind of playstyle they had in Inferno on the T side. Kito just getting out of those smokes, but Twist, he doesn't panic. He just takes a deep breath. First headshot in, second as well. And once again, it is FaZe Clan in the lead in the player count, and Carrigan's rotated down to the B side. He wants a piece of the pie. And right now, Big, they're red-faced. They feel like they had such a good advantage. They got that opening pick. They start to push down into the B side, but Twist has just absolutely broken their necks in this one. Thousand Towers and Searson have to find some way into this. They have to be helped out by a little bit of mistake from FaZe Clan, and they might just find that chance here on Brokey, but Centaurus doesn't look the right way. Backs up into him. Searson with a quick shot, Rain pushing in towards lobby. Searson actually taking damage from the Molotov as well. Clearing out the vent. Here's the stab in towards man, and that's Brokey, but he didn't commit to the angle. Because of that, Brokey in with a headshot. 9-4. Brilliant round from Twist again.
Yeah, such a nice adaptation from FaZe here, and specifically, I'm really enjoying this more free roll that Twist seems to be getting, because this round he puts himself in the exact right position. I'm not sure if it was Olaf calling that he thought they might come back to ramp after they bested him in the previous round, or if it's maybe just Twist saying, you know what, I've got a feeling, guys, I'm going to stack into ramp. But it worked out so beautifully, because you see Big get that first kill onto Olaf. Normally there's only one ramp player, so they assume they're fine, and then Twist is waiting in the wings with 2 great kills. Rain has been caught early, and Searson just about gets away with his life. The Flames take him down to 5 health, but he'll be happy with the man advantage.
Twist getting flashed out through the smokes by his teammate. Let's do a little sprinkle of damage onto Kito. No kill, no cigar yet. For Big, it is a slower one for them. They've only got 2 smokes left for the final moments of this round. Have to place them wisely. When you're committed towards outside, you do need some smokes to get you across there, so we need to use them effectively. We'll see where Tizian is placing his, with the deeper smoke execute in towards the yard. Once again, Twist is a little bit of a nuisance in towards the blue box, and they're actually going to try and walk on the edge of this smoke. They had one in towards Hell, and Brokey ready for the peek out the Tabson, walks into his cross, and they've actually got over towards Garage, but again, it's Twist, they're not ready for him. He just waits for his moment to strike, and he strikes quickly. 2 kills onto his M4A1S once again. Now for Big, they leave a big gap there on the edge of that smoke. I thought they were going to maybe consider going for the double smoke wall, but Alex, they leave a gap, and that does cost them.
Oh, they call Twist the Magician for a reason, Dinko. He just appears when you least expect him. At least that's how it feels for Big right now. Never able to clear him out. I don't mind those smokes, but I'm slightly surprised. I don't think we saw a flash throw, which I feel like you've got to go for. If you're going for those smokes, you need to be aware that there could be an AWP in heaven. Otherwise, he gets that first kill, and then Twist can just play with the pressure of knowing that that AWP was in above. They have to be aware of both of those positions, and it all falls apart for them.
Twist this time aggressive towards red, but the flashes are blind both players. Luckily, Kito gets out blinded quicker. Twist was looking at the wall. Keto gets traded out through the smoke somehow. Brokey just takes him straight down and pills him without even spotting his opponent. And Carrigan, nearly got caught in the timing there, but luckily gets away with one. Could have been a worse scenario for Carrigan. He could have went down with nothing. But the bombers got down into B. So Towers might just be able to find Rain here as well. That's an important kill. And that has given Big the advantage. And actually, they call for the bomb to come up from the vent back into the A site.
Lovely play from Big, and that's what can happen when you stress out those rotations early. They over-rotate down to B. Xantares cuts off that player who was out in the open. Now Searson goes up the ladder, so Brokey has to be aware of a couple of positions here. It's the last round, so they've got to go for it, but you can see Brokey's not very comfortable right now.
Searson's just down off the ladder now. Brokey underneath him. There's no idea. Brokey, I love the patience there. Searson, a wild attempt, but hasn't worked out. Forming out Olofmeister drops down from heaven. They know his position, but he's already down to silent drop. They weren't ready for it. Molotov in towards HUD as well. Olofmeister's going to stick the bomb. He comes off it, looks for the kill, but it's Tizian who gets the headshot. A 10-5 half coming in for FaZe, and I have to say, it was a fantastic recovery in a couple of rounds there for Big, but they would have liked a few more out of the T side of Nuke here. It just has to be all about Twist when the conversation gets started about that first half. The amount of impact he was able to deliver. Obviously, Brokey was there supplementing it, but Twist was all over the place. His heat map must just be covered in dots.
Yeah, he was getting a lot done for his team. And in that last round, it was the kill from Xantares that just opened it all up for Big. Once you get that kill onto A, they can bring the bomb back up. Nice read from them. Nice nade from Tabson, who's going to be playing this main position, and I think he's really good in this spot. Not good enough to deal with Twist, though. The P250 comes through with 2, back to a 3-on-3.
Xantares not the prettiest scenario. Luckily, Searson's here. His big brother's come to help him out. The bully. Down goes Olofmeister. Ball gets planted here for FaZe, at least confirming a force buy, if nothing else, into the next round. Carrigan and Twist certainly gets to win this round, and Carrigan holds in towards Huts, and Towers was the player to peek into him. No kill for either player. Twist closes the door, looks back. Twist so clean. He looks back up to heaven as well. That is disgusting. How can one player have so much mechanical skill?
That's a highlight round from Twist right there. He got the 2 kills initially and then closes it out in the post plant with the P250. That's why you give this man the P250. Look at these initial shots. Long range, making sure that he can use that range of the P250 to his advantage, and then the turnaround, the taps. Such nice play from Twist, who's been showing up all series long, but they've got to make sure they don't fall foul to this force by a Big. There's a scout out for Searson. He can be very competent with this weapon. And never mind, Twist is on the other side.
Yeah, we usually talk about Searson's scout being deadly to opponents, but Twist just doesn't care. He's got an AK, and that's a little more deadly, I think. 19-9. I'm glad Twist has been able to continue the performance out of Inferno into this one, and he's actually got his teammates around him this time doing something. It was mainly just Twist doing everything over on Inferno and getting nothing out of it. But now that his teammates even do a slight bit of lifting, they pull their own weight to a better extent, that's enough to get them up into the scoreline.
Tizian on the rotate. Should have been spotted there. Carrigan holding the vents the whole time. Nice flash. Could get in the kill. Carrigan was blind as he peeked, but with 3 health, that nade is dead on from Brokey. 12-5 lead for 12-5 lead for FaZe. Wow, that was a tongue twister.
Yeah, we need to add that to the warm-up, Alex. The vocal warm-ups fired in.
Clearly, I needed to do my vocal warm-ups better because I struggle with it.
Well, next time, once you do it before we go on the broadcast, Alex, you'll be fine. You got it next time, no problem. For Big, I think the next vocal warm-up is to not use the word big in the broadcast, but that is pretty difficult. Honestly,
that's more of a mental warm-up then.
Yeah, that's hard. That's real hard. Maniac was talking about that before. You know what's even harder? Winning around like this if you're Big, and so it's not going to happen most likely, especially with Carrigan getting the opening. Raids loving a couple of these eco kills, get the stats up. In towards the hut. Was desperately hoping for a little. Did Overpass not see him? We for sure would have seen him there, but obviously looks away. Now Keto goes forward. Rain takes him out of play as well. So Tara's lucky to get something now, but the round is done. AK's out for FaZe Clan. Big will get a buy coming into this one. Searson will have enough for the AWP. I do want to see Searson start to get involved in the CT side with that AWP. He can definitely change the game if Big have him popping off.
Could be a key player. Good kills from Raid again. He's had a few anti-eco kills throughout this game, but he's been doing a good job so far. 13-5, but Big have a chance to try and get something going here. Tabson was thinking about going aggressive. The flashes have denied him though, and Twist, closing the distance, takes a bit of early damage. Only down to 69 health. Oh, big gap in those smokes, and Searson's able to land a shot because of it.
Tara's, oh, I thought he had got it, but Olofmeister, because he has the AK, gets the advantage there. Tara's hits the headshot, but Olof down to 2 HP, barely alive, but it's enough. And Twist elsewhere, giving FaZe that coveted man advantage. There's actually quite a bit of time to play with here as well. If you're Big, you start to wonder what options are available to you. You don't have a whole lot of map control. You can't make these quick rotations. This round is looking so good for FaZe.
Olaf sits in ramp patiently. Technically could be wallbanged, I believe, but obviously no way Searson's going to know that. And now Olaf... Oh, where did that come from? Tizian's lined up too. Now Olaf has to come through with this flank.
That is exactly what they needed. They needed a hero play like that, and Olofmeister from heaven spots the back of Searson, headshot in, but Tizian luckily in towards main, so has cover. Doesn't go down to Olofmeister, and has the information now that he did come in from heaven. Now likely to be the A play. Bomb not planted yet. They have a player in the vent right now for Big to make that quick rotation up once they hear the timing. They hear the footsteps running towards the site, and Keita goes up, bomb plant on the other side. That's information up for the Heaven player. And Brokey, he's focused, he's fixated on the player outside of door, and Brokey gets behind the corner quick enough, and now has cover as he begins to play at the round. It's close, but it's not the shot, and Tizian comes in, the hero that saves the day for Big. They needed a round here, they just needed it, and Tizian realizes that.
I think it was a lineup towards Squeaky initially where he got those 2 kills. This was the initial shot from Searson. I didn't see if that smoke was disrupted maybe, which was why there was a big gap, but either way he was able to get that initial shot to go his way. Twist was then lurking, but this is the moment. Tizian peeks door and gets a lovely lineup to bring his team back into the round, and he even keeps his cool in the one-on-one. It's been a good game for Tizian so far, and he's having to keep his team in this one. But if Big can win this round, they would break the bank of FaZe, which is exactly what they need to do.
Look, execute coming out. They just smoked the same spot twice. They have. FaZe. Oh, okay. No, it looked like it on the minimap, but I believe it's a little deeper that time. But man advantage in for FaZe Clan. Good opening again, this time from Brokey. And it is a very top-heavy scoreboard for Big. Tizian up there, 20 and 14. The rest around 9 and 10 kills on the rest of the side. Of a similar story to how Twist was feeling over on Inferno. FaZe Clan setting up with the A hit. 3 players coming over here. Carrigan has just found that important kill to open up the A site, and that's information now for his teammates. Just come on in. We'll just take it together. And that's the A site gone for Big, and it has to be the safe call. They cannot really compete in this one, and that's just FaZe just being very convincing, winning all these important fights, and Big unable to trade any of them out.
Becomes so difficult when you lose that first fight at Yard. It opens up a lot of the map for FaZe. You have to start switching your setup, and props to FaZe for forcing those early fights and winning them. Carrigan getting a couple of important kills on the round. And Torres only has a FAMAS. Really nice turnaround from FaZe here, honestly. I wasn't sure exactly how they'd be able to do. Torres has got 1 kill, but the flash is blinding him, and he is a dead man walking. FaZe 14-6 up. Yeah, really nice turnaround here from FaZe, and just seeing their players play to this level is a really positive sign. I'm just glad that we are getting to see this performance from FaZe, because I feel like they need it with some of their struggles they've been having as of late.
Yeah, when you look at the results over on HLTV, right, you take a look at the last series for them, it's just a sea of red, a sea of losses coming in for FaZe, and it is disappointing. And that first map looked to be a continuation of the disappointment, but second map, everybody's alive again here. Nothing to lose, just turn up and play the series. Look, execute out for FaZe. All the smoke's created. Tabson trying his best with a P250 at long range. I like this from Tizian. He could get in behind, and Keto elsewhere has found an opening kill, and somehow everything's falling apart for FaZe. They've only got 2 players left alive, and Big are just doing everything on pistols. Brokey's going to run up the rampway. 2 players line up for him. He didn't quite spot the third, but somehow stays alive. With the bomb going down, it's once again a chance here for FaZe Clan. A chance to avoid defeat. But Big have picked up the AKs now, and that does elevate their chances of winning this round greatly. One of them down, though. Still 2 in play. Keto and Searson. Can they get the round win? Searson's just dropped down from the vent, so they know what their opponents are coming from. Brokey with the 4K, looking for all 5. Brokey just about gets it. All 5 kills, survives on 1 HP. And it looked like Big had done it, but Brokey pulls his team out of a hole.
Wow, what a round. The ace from Brokey in a 2v5. He gets aggressive, he gets proactive. These are those early deagle shots. It was all looking so great for Big. They make a couple of cheeky plays, but Brokey finds the lineup, then somehow gets away with his life, and then makes the most of that AK. It's aim punch at the end here that's so costly in the final fight. No Kevlar means as soon as you take shots, your bullets are flying all over the place. Got to give huge props to Brokey, though, for realizing he had to do something to bail his team out, and he bailed them out all by himself.
Now a big hammer by, and they have got the opening kill again. I'm sure they thought they had won the last round, but now they know they've got to focus up. They've got to close this one out. Zantara's at ramp has been pretty quiet, but this could be the round to explode and go nuclear. Gets himself a double. Searson over here as well. Bomb down, but don't count this man out. Twist in a 1v3. Damaged players, Tizian and Searson. For Twist, it doesn't really matter if the players are damaged. He's got an AK in his hands, and we know what he does. He just gets headshots. That's all he does. With under a minute left, there's still time to work these 1v1s, and he's got the right angle. Tizian is spotted. Now down the vent, Twist goes. He fakes out the ladder and comes back up. We'll start his walk over towards ramp, and Keto will get the information. He's lying. He's not gone down the vent. He's not here right now. So they know he's got to be walking towards Searson, who is just posted up with the AWP. Twist has to jump across the angle, try and bid out the shot, and that's exactly what he's just done. And he's got in front of the molly as well. He's trying to figure out where the other player is, though. He hears the player dropping down into B. The AWP's position known. And now with the limited time, Twist has to figure out his only option, his only path is to the A side. And Keto has gone to the right side of the map. He's come up the vent. And Twist has to find that kill immediately. With this time, there's limited margin for error. And Twist has to immediately get this kill now and start planting. There's only 7 seconds left. In fact, he has to just commit to the plant now and left no time to clear the site. And Keto comes around, gets the headshot. A valiant attempt from Twist, but in the end, it is time that costs him.
I like the decision-making from Keto there, tucking himself in behind the silo on site. When you tuck in like that, it can also be a bit of an unexpected angle too. Keys might not fully clear you out if they think that they have to watch heaven or some other positions, and once he hears the bomb plant, it is easy pickings for Keto. Easiest kill of his career. So, Big able to stay alive for now, and they finally cause that economic concern for FaZe. It's Deegs out for FaZe in this one, but don't count out the Eagles. Olaf's got an early kill. Now he's got an AK into his hands, and Brokey's got another one. Oh boy, Carrigan down the vents. Could this be how it ends?
Tabson luckily pulling it back, gets a headshot onto Brokey, and Taras finds Olafmeister running with his knife out. Bomb gets planted for Decon. Big once again with the advantage, but Twist has found an M4. Carrigan's still only the measly Glock, so he's the information player. He's the player that has to walk forward. He did know an AK's over here, but unfortunately the timing just works out perfectly for Tabson. Twist is smoked off a Decon right now, but no one's on the bomb. And Twist has just been spotted by Tabson, so they know he's over towards that decon zone, and that time will start to tick. Twist pressure mounting, but time it's ticking. Big have to get onto the bomb. Twist gets the kill through the smoke, gets onto Xantaras. Searson gets onto the bomb. It's going to be close here. He's going to hold it, and he'll get it through it. Big with 8 rounds. 15 still for FaZe Clan, and they nearly do it in the most unlikely of rounds, Alex. So if you're big, you're definitely sweating. None of these rounds are easy at all.
Twist did very well to even bring that close. That's an incredible shot from Brokey out onto the A side. Didn't even catch that. But yeah, Twist tried his best. Fortunately, his best not enough this time, but he was in a very tough position. Twist and Brokey are just battling for that top fragging spot right now. Brokey's overtaken him for the time being, but they've got AKs out. We'll see if that can be the difference maker here for FaZe. One more round is all they need. Tizian this time, playing in towards midi. Oftentimes Tabson will play in that position, but he's gone down to lower early in this round. Bit of damage done onto Twists. Nothing too significant, but remember, Tabson is waiting down on lower. So even though Carrigan has dropped down, Big can still keep good bit of control towards B. Oh, Searson gets burnt out. Olofmeister again with his opening kill. Luckily, Xantaras is quick to trade it out, and Tabson elsewhere. Again, a good kill from him. Tizian, who has been on point, unfortunately gets taken down by the point man of Twists. It goes in for a second, couldn't quite relocate his crosshair and get things under control quickly enough to get the kill onto his top hut. So it is still Big with the advantage, but that's short-lived thanks to Rain's explosion out of the doorway. Ito's head topples and rolls across the floor. Molotov in heaven keeping Xantaras at bay for the meantime, and that does buy a comfortable plant for FaZe and enough time to get back into the post plant. Olofmeister and Ray and the old guard of this team looking to close it out against Tabson and Xantaras, the two big hitters of this team, and Xantaras has come in for the frag, and now it's just down to Tabson. Olofmeister versus Tabson in the 1v1 to either close it or save the day. There's a tap on the bomb. Olofmeister does not go for it. Tabson's going to go again, this time sticking it, this time holding it, and Olofmeister just goes for the shot right through the smoke. It's FaZe Clan that close out Nuke, and really, Alex, we've got a game on our hands now. Yeah, we've definitely got a game on our hands, and to tell us exactly why we've got a game on our hands and how FaZe have done so well, we've got a lovely looking desk for you. Over to you, Matt.
Thank you very much, guys. Dinko and Haka with the cast. We will get a third map. FaZe Clan tie the series on Nuke, and Rain was present. Slightly acidic, probably, by a nuclear reactor. I'm less toxic than that. Well, debatable. But Blaze here, and so is Maniac. They're not. Guys, that was a much better game from FaZe.
It was really cool. You mentioned Rain, and he's going to be a hot topic of that post-show. Obviously, he had a great game, great reaction from that first map as well. I want to point out his synergy with Twist towards the yard position of the map. I think this is where they were shining, both of them. Like, they shut down Big on so many occasions, and they were truly, truly great to watch.
Yeah, and I just want to add on as well, like, I'm glad the two players you picked really did step up, especially Brokey for the side of FaZe, right? Like, he's a player we said was going to be instrumental, and he was basically a sentry with an AWP towards the heaven area, towards ramp as well, whenever Olof needed any help. And even if you look at the scoreboard at the end, which we should hopefully have him in the next couple of seconds, Olof, even though he ended with like 10, 11, like 11 kills, and he did get the clutch in the end as well, the 1v2, it was mainly because he wasn't really having much action towards ramp, right? He was kind of isolated, not really having the opportunities to get the kills, but overall FaZe as a unit, that CD side, it looked really, really solid, and every single individual stepped up, even Carrigan.
I completely think so. Yeah, I think Rain's first half was pretty crucial, obviously, because the T side for FaZe was instrumental in this win, but Brokey definitely pushed them over the finish line. Twist, once again, very consistent, 26 kills for him, 104 ADR, but not a lot of presence from Searson, which we've talked about him being, you know, a prominent AWP player for Big, someone who's definitely up and coming, and should, when he's having a good game, be able to swing things, and he didn't really get going with the op. Now, I know Nuke is difficult for the op, it's hit or miss Maniac, but that is still a problem.
Yeah, I don't think we can put that on Nuke, though. I think it would be an easy way out for Searson. I think he's had very good nukes in the past. But yes, you're right. It is an instrumental position, instrumental role. We've had a couple of occurrences at the end here where Xantaras is finding ramp, and when Xantaras finds one, then Searson is supposed to be that safety net, right? He's coming in right behind from under heaven. That should be -2, and then the round is closed goes. And unfortunately, he missed a couple of these, I would label them easy shots, but don't watch me play with the AWP because the definition becomes a whole nother level. But yes, Surson was missing. I just wanted to quickly touch on Brokey because yes, he was a man we mentioned and he was playing well. Just his clutching abilities, right? His feeling. You see that 2 versus 5 towards the very end of the game that they actually win, and he's understanding that, you know what, we've just accessed the lower bomb site, it is a 2v5, I need to make the difference. And it is something that I encourage everyone at home to think about, is when you have to play passive, when you have to play aggressive. Brokey in that 2v5 just really took it in his hands to make the difference, and it was great to see.
And just to point out as well, like for Surson, right, you look at his scoreboard, you're like, okay, he's not on the T side, and maybe that's why he didn't have too many opportunities. Here's what where it got a little janky for him. They had like what in total 8-9 rounds on the CD side for Big. He had 3 kills. There we go.
Yeah, bit of a problem, I would have to say. Twist, we're going to look at some of his highlights. MVP of the series, the Canadian kid, absolutely tearing it up on this particular occasion. That one was a bit interesting. Keto outside had no idea that he could sneak up from secret, so there seemed to be a bit of a lack of awareness from Big on the outside position throughout the course of this map, but nonetheless, that brings us back level, and now we switch over to Overpass, which is going to be certainly interesting. I think as well, Twist, the guy's played, he's been a young player, he's been a star player, he's come through with guys like Sean Gares, he's gone with Elige, Nitro, now he finds himself with Kerrigan. He's had a number of good in-game leaders around him, but now he's got someone that's, a little more younger and prominent. I wonder how he's enjoying playing with Brokey, because that's got to be something that you look forward to, is having another super talented player alongside you. We'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about Overpass. That's the third and deciding map in this series. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have a little break, and then we'll get right to it.
COVID-19 vaccines are already helping millions of us get back to normality. But for many more, they are still out of reach. The vast majority of vaccines are going to wealthier countries, leaving the world's most vulnerable people behind. The COVAX initiative is working to right this wrong and ensure access to vaccines worldwide. This is not only the right thing to do, it is one of our best routes out of this global pandemic. As new variants continue to evolve, we know that as long as the virus is circulating somewhere, nowhere is safe. Gavi, through COVAX, is helping to provide vaccines at no cost to 92 lower-income countries. It has already delivered over 80 million vaccines worldwide. With your help, we can protect millions more people, ensure no one is left behind, and help bring an end to this pandemic.
A difficult mission for you. Who's in? Close to 1 billion people from 92 of the world's poorest countries need to be vaccinated. You'll need to work closely with governments and health authorities, and it will take millions of volunteers, and it has to be cheap. This is a mission only a few organizations can handle. It is the world's biggest and fastest distribution of a vaccine ever. Equipment such as needles, canisters, visors, protective suits, and sanitizer need to be in place first. All of this has to be transported to the most inaccessible corners of the world. The vaccine has to be kept cold constantly. If not, it's all for nothing. And when the vaccine gets close, a population without mobile phones or internet needs to get the message. Thousands of health workers have to be trained to perform vital work. No one is safe until everyone is vaccinated, so we can't stop until that's a reality. But even though we're doing this because lives are on the line, this is real life and not a game. You don't get a new life if you fall, or if you drown trying to save lives. We have no lives to lose, but we're willing to risk a lot to vaccinate the whole world. As long as the virus exists, the whole world is in danger.
being ready for this kind of tournaments is really hard to say. At the moment, we're also in the stage where we are still playing another tournament. So in my head, we are still playing in one tournament. So looking forward to play this tournament is just right before there, I would say. Preparation starts, of course, before. But I would say my head is right now still in another tournament. So it's really hard to say if we feel ready. I feel ready at the moment for this tournament. And I will make sure that we feel ready also for the different tournaments.
We get ready for map 3. It is day number 3, and we are starting out Group B. All of that sounds so good together, just like FaZe and Big, because this has been a decent series. We're getting a little more serious Counter-Strike today. We saw that from the start of the veto, and now we've got a pretty important matchup between these two teams. Again, I say important in the context of competition, in the context of both these teams needing to continue with good forward momentum, more so for FaZe, who has one of the lowest win rates of any pro team, I think, I've seen, especially one of this caliber. Overpass, Maniac, you were looking back to try and find stats for them. They haven't played very many matches this year, but certainly not on this map.
No, you are correct, Matt. I was looking at their matches last 3 months, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? I cannot think of FaZe on Overpass. Like, I didn't have like a picture in my mind as to where they're playing, some key moments. So it's kind of rare that I actually don't know how a team is playing the map. So I dug deep into the archives, and actually they've played only one time in the last 3 months. That was against, now I've lost it, Mouse Sports during DreamHack Master Spring 2021. That's 2 months ago. So again, we haven't seen FaZe on Overpass in a while, I think it's fair to say. Also to mention that in that game, they have been completely manhandled by A-Core as a sniper. So is that going to be a story that we have to keep in mind, a story we have to follow during this game? Are we going to see Surson taken over or not? That's the thing. But apparently FaZe are very vulnerable to great snipers.
Yeah, it certainly does put a little bit more pressure on Saracen. We'll get to that conversation now because we've actually highlighted him once again, or you guys have. I have nothing to do with this for good reason, as the player to watch play.
Yeah, and for Surson, it's because he was a player I expected him to do much better in Nuke there. Nuke city side opping, it can be really, really, I wouldn't say easy, but it's somewhere where, if you set yourself up well, you can have a lot of impact. Brokey had it on the CD side, but Surson was very quiet. Even on the T side, I think he had like 3 or 4 kills with the AWP. On the CD side, on the mini comeback they kind of had, he had multiple opportunities to wield the big green as well, but he was very, very unimpactful. So yeah, heading into Overpass, just to add on to what Maniac said, like FaZe, a few months back, they were struggling against the AWF A-Core, and I feel Surson on a very good day is on par, if not better than A-Core in my honest opinion. So it is going to be interesting. That being said, however, Overpass is a map Big are generally not very comfortable on, right? You look at the maps they've played it decently, like 6 or 7 maps in the past three or 4 months, and they've had most a lot of losses. Even the wins they have are very, very close, scrappy affairs against the likes of Apex and Extra Assault. So I feel it might be one of those messier games. I know it's Overpass, when you see top teams playing Overpass, it's you expect to see much more cleaner, much more highly tactical Counter-Strike. I feel like this could be a lot of contact plays coming in, like we saw in Inferno for that matter from Big, and you could get messy at times, but you know what, sometimes messy Counter-Strike can be entertaining.
Sometimes it's the most entertaining form of Counter-Strike. One aspect of Overpass we also should talk about, and we do a lot, bathrooms, CT control. 2 players immediately come to mind, and I know there's some that are should be added to this list, but Fur in that bathrooms, very good. Rain, normally in that bathroom, very good. That certainly has to be something we watch for again, Maniac.
We're going for throwbacks. I love that.
Look, man, I'm old school now, okay? I get to take that claim. I appreciate that. Off. I used to be like, I'm young, I'm new in this scene. Nah, I'm old now, okay? I'm old.
Remember what Fur was doing.
My short-term memory is dying because I'm getting older, but...
are you surprised about this new team called Gambit? Like, have you heard?
You heard about this?
They're not new. They won one of the last majors I was at.
True. They won a major, yes.
That wasn't even
same lineup.
That was not the same. Bombit's still there, though. All right, he's the best. No, but seriously, rain in bathrooms.
Yes. To answer your question without trolling you at all, you're correct. I think it's one of the most exciting part about Overpass is this whole gray area, which comes with neutral zone, bathroom to party, long even, and the very good individuals, and when I say good, I mean cerebral and clever and sneaky players, they are making the most out of that position because there are so many different ways you can approach that CT side, which for the T's puts you in a position where you have to decide whether or not using utility, whether or not you are playing fast or slow, and if you make the wrong gamble, if you take the wrong decision, you will pay it cash. You try to bypass a flash when there's no, you're dead. You play too slow when they play on site, you have no time to finish. So it's a very, very intriguing aspect of the map, and one I truly appreciate.
Yeah, information is king, basically, Blay. And I know that Henry always talked about the fact that his favorite maps are the ones where CTs can get a little creative in that regard. And there's also been instances of players like MBK saying they struggle oftentimes like that because it means there's more responsibility, if you will, rather than just aim duels.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like it's very dependent on the T side as well. Like if you're a good team on Overpass, your T side, your protocols are going to be, you're going to be waiting. You're going to have different phases to a round, right? You're going to be, all right, these guys like pushing towards monster. You're going to have the monster lurk guy. You're going to have the guy holding towards long, for example. But that could also be a problem where you play a little too passively and then suddenly you get steamrolled by a very aggressive, like a 3-man push, maybe down connector, maybe pushing towards fountain. So like Maniac said, it's a very back and forth thing where you can see a map of Overpass play out where it's like every round is so drastically different, just building on each other like layers. So yeah, I have to agree, it's one of my favorite maps to see, and for FaZe and Big, considering they've struggled so far on this particular map, it could get very interesting.
Well, we're about to find out which team will go into the winner bracket. This is not an elimination match, but it certainly makes things more comfortable or more difficult. We'll find out if it's FaZe or if it's Big that will prevail. To do that, we head over to Dinko and Haka.
Well, we've had two very different maps, one-sided coming in from both teams, Hawk the first two, but now we hop into this one, and I have to say, we're everything to play for as you head into this one. I don't even know which team's going to head to the upper bracket now, considering the first map was one-sided for Big, the second a little bit more one-sided for FaZe Clan. Overpass has opened up, and I, for one, am very excited for this one.
Yeah, anyone's game here. I just really want to see Big back to what they do best. Back with their utility, some of their structured plays. Overpass is probably the map where you're most likely to be able to pull that off. So let's see if Big can do it. We're underway into our decider map, and FaZe are not wasting any time with this fast play towards bathrooms.
Twist running up the stairway, Tizian waiting at bay and behind the wall. A couple of players now coming towards me. Here's the footsteps of death, and it will be just one kill for Tizian. Twist trading out very quickly, and Olofmeister stepping up for FaZe as well. Tabson does have a couple of opportunities here, but hasn't really capitalized upon any of them, and he's going to at least get him behind the smoke because the flank is coming in from behind, and that's enough. Xantares just tears them apart in the pistol, and now down to the 1v1. Olofmeister is going to plant on the other side of the truck using cover to hide away from Xantares. You do not want to face this man one-on-one without some cover advantages. Peeks up, gets the info. Xantares knows where Olofmeister is now. Has to consider, does he wrap towards Bind? Does he stay in the stairway position? And Xantares goes aggressive, but Olofmeister, he's fallen away. He's a magician, he's disappeared, and Xantares has no idea where he's gone. So many angles he could be in right now, and Olofmeister's played this one to perfection. That is the veteran seat coming in.
Yeah, lovely play from Olof, especially, as you said, with Xantares having such a good start to the round. Doesn't even get given a fair fight at the end there. This was the initial play into A. You see that Big are trying to kind of collapse in and rotate fast enough, and that didn't work for the initial players, but it worked really well for Xantares, because no one had eyes on him with the fights being so focused on the site itself. So it nearly worked out for Big. Not meant to be this time though, but they've got a force buy, and we only have one AK here for FaZe. They're going to use their Mac 10s for some more pace.
Very fast play from Carrigan, just went up into short. Xantares had no idea, completely discombobulated due to the flashbang from Twist. Makito, he was a beast on the first map. Had a few moments over in the second as well. It's a deco kill on this one. Find another is the question. He's got Tizian beside him. Brothers in arms as they go through the smoke at short. They'll try and boost over the top of it. This gives them more of an elevated advantage. The spot broke in. He had no idea. Another good kill from Big. Well worked. Another double play through Monster from Twist and Olofmeister. They're going to lead the charge into Keto, and hits from Ass gets one out of it. Twist quickly trading out, not leaving any space open for Big to play with as he doubles up and gets a second. Oh, Searson, usually 100% accurate when it comes to those shots, and Twist, you cannot miss one shot against him. He will capitalize, crunch you down, and 2-0 for FaZe Clan.
I start for FaZe, even if that round came somewhat close. I think they were generally in control of it. And while I was saying I want to see Big play to their best and play to their strengths, and that Overpass could be a good map to suit those strengths. I also want to see FaZe come through, just because I think it would be really nice for them if they could have Overpass in their map pool. I think Maniac was pointing out this isn't a map they play very often. It's sometimes a map they'll first ban, depending on opponent. They first banned it recently when they were going up against Na'Vi, so a nice chance for them to experiment somewhat with Overpass as a map, see if FaZe decide this is something they want to play slightly more frequently, rather than just the one time in the last 3 months. This is a boost that can sometimes be overlooked, but Rain clears it this time, and that will give away that there are 3 players there.
Control from Rain to be aware of that. Brokey on the bank stairs. He's got a lot of control quickly here. Seriously in the corner, on the other side of this doorway. Tabson is the first player spotted, and Brokey gets away with 2. Quickly taken out by Zintaras. Again, just looking at the weapons they have right now for Big. And Mac-10's the best one in play. And spam through the wall as well from Twist, working out for a headshot onto Sirius and Carrigan. Now getting involved at banking. Not very helpful banker. More of a sinister banker. Zintaras has got himself a double kill, switches out to the AK. You don't want to let that stay in his hands for long, and Olofmeister ensures that it won't. 3-0 start for FaZe Clan, and a flawless beginning to Overpass is what's needed for the mentality. They definitely look good at the start of Nuke as well, so hopefully they can keep that up as Big are going to get the AWP out for Searson. We did ask for a little bit more out of Searson. Hopefully he can show us that early.
The desk brought up the discussion point of bathrooms control being so important on this map. It's almost always going to be your AWPer playing in bathrooms on that CT side, playing towards A. They've missed the molly into mid, though. That's a bit of a shame, but Tabson will be playing in connector. Carrigan taking that early water control, but you are always susceptible to some aggression in this position. Got to be careful from Con, but got to be careful of the boosts and the spams. There's a lot of danger here for Carrigan, but he still tries to take the fight, and Tabson is one step ahead of him.
Rim was close by, but Tabson's aware of that potential trade, so smokes off the bottom of connector and goes back up to fight out at balloons. And luckily for him, wins out the duel against Twist and the spam as well. Keto gets the information that our players in there. Receives some spam back in the jump up. The shot lands. Keto down to 19 HP and nearly the spam working out here for FaZe Clan. Just a little unlucky not to have got a kill so far.
Nice shot, Zintaras. Oh, in comes Olaf. Back and forth in this round, but it's FaZe who have been doing most of the back and Big who have been doing most of the fourth. Doesn't really make sense, but I tried something. Either way, 2v4, Brokey and Olaf trying to save this one. Nice headshot initially, but there are 2 big players ready to swing from the right-hand side, and it's all on Olaf.
Terrorists win. And Olaf not really getting much out of it. So good job done from Big around on the board. And for FaZe, you know, early on, very unlucky in those early initial duels. They get that water control. Carrigan tries to go up into connector and fight alone. Didn't have anybody really close by for a quick trade either. When he loses that fight, it is trade like blow for blow through the walls and through the spam holes just for damage. But unfortunately for FaZe, none of those kills go their way, even if they do come close. So Big finally onto the board. Can he go for the boost here? Oh, they've missed that. And they cancel it quickly. If you either get it first time, a lot of teams will cancel it if they fail, because you do concede a lot of map control doing it, just because it pulls so many players and so many resources into one area.
Scout shot did even more damage than I expected it to. Tabson's down to 12 health. Sometimes it can be dependent on where exactly you land the shot. I know the hitboxes can change depending on chest and arms and all sorts of weird stuff, but good damage early. Nice shot from Searson. He's out in the open, and that means he's going to get taken down by the Deagle. So an AWP recovered by Rain. Not someone you see on the AWP all that often, but maybe he can come through for his team here.
Throwing it. It's Brokey, so
yeah. That makes sense.
It makes a lot more sense. Rain downgrading to the Scout. And then move forward with just his pistol in hand instead. And Brokey will be this player you look to on the back lines. But that's what Rain can do. He has the Deagle! A second as well from Rain. 3 kills in the round so far. And they are beautiful. just cracking open the A site. He has to be careful of this long play from Keto, starting to creep closer and closer back into play. And Keto finds one player looking the wrong way. Carrigan is his first victim. He hasn't quite been able to get a second opportunity just yet. And Rain is still alive. He's now got an AK. And Brokey, who had received the AWP a little earlier, a donation, a kind donation from a generous Rain, has maybe just won this round out as Brokey doubles up, secures the round for FaZe Clan. What a round from Rain. Absolutely beautiful.
Rain could start to hit that form somewhat consistently. FaZe could become very scary very quickly. Early kills look good for Big, but Searson was just so out in the open in bathrooms with no opportunity to fall back. He was full committed to the angle. Those two shots from Rain onto the site, though, are something you just cannot prepare for. And even though I like the way that Keto got that kill, okay, Brokey's got the kill on the boost.
Yeah, this time it works. They get onto the head immediately. He traded out mid. Carrigan gets one, taps and quick in reply. Brokey, this is good. Keeping FaZe in the driver's seat for sure. Zentares, Deagle in hand versus 4. FaZe have won this round. Sorry for interrupting your point, Alex. Just the amount of action that came in. It was FaZe Clan just cracking open the round.
All coming through very quickly in this one. Up against the pistols of Big.
Does Olafmeister have the patience? Easily.
Straight to the body. Could have been under pressure, but no shot comes back at him. Here comes the buy for Big. Something that is maybe slightly concerning for Big is that start from Searson. He's been off to a slightly slow start here. 1 for 5 right now. He's had the AWP already, but he's got another chance to show us what he can do with that sniper now. There is that AWP on the other side, though, so he can't just have free reign across the map, but I would like to see Searson taking some initiative, and he's going into connector this time, trying to force the early fight, but the molly forces him back.
Wow, look at that aggression straight through Monster. Double push in from Big. Hasn't exactly worked out the way they wanted it to. They only get 1 kill out of it, and that will put FaZe in a significant advantageous position. Not only do they have the man advantage, but they know there's a slight weakness in towards B, and if not, then that means a rotation has come down from the A side. Either way, FaZe in a much better position, and this aggression from Keto at least gleaming a lot of info. His clan certainly posted and ready to go towards B, and Keto's going to continue moving forward. Carrigan is the bomb carrier, and he spots the feed. He's aware of that potential flank and spots out Keto. That's going to force him back. His flank has come to a close, and now they know the worst case scenario, 2 players inside of the B site.
That can still be very scary, though. I think these nades will be important for FaZe. They could go contact if they wanted to, and Searson gets caught with terrible timing. Tizian trying to see what he can line up, but the answer is absolutely nothing. And Keto, who got all that information to tell his teammates it was likely a B play, doesn't get any reward for it.
I think if you're Searson in that situation, you just got to keep the gun out. You can't go to the nades like that, especially when you're so exposed to the AWP. You're likely to get one if they just come out through Monster. But he switches out to utility. Everyone's had that scenario play out before, but you definitely should just stay posted with your gun out right there.
Yeah, like especially when they've just mollied sandbags. You've got to think they're going to peek, not sandbags, barrels. Bloody hell. They've just mollied barrels. Like, they're probably going to peek to make sure they can catch a barrels player falling back in case he was there.
It would have been different if he had cover as well to maybe go in behind the pillar, etc. But he was so in the open. There was just no cover at all. So yeah, he definitely needs to just do something that. Unfortunate, but 6-1. FaZe Clan will not be complaining about that. And great awareness from Carrigan as well, just to expect that flank. Realizes, well, the area of the map we don't have is that long on mid position, so potential flank could have come in. Let me just have a little look for that. Spots out Keto, and just so much information for Keto that now just goes over to Carrigan. He's aware of that flank, knows what he is aware of.
Ooh. How has Tizian taken team damage twice at the start of this round?
I believe him.
I think he got stabbed in the back and then maybe took full damage while jumping out of heaven because he got knifed. That sucks.
Poor Tizian. Luckily, not too much. 62 definitely could be way better, but Keto jumps out to try and bait the shot out of Brokey, and all it does is end up being a kill for Brokey. Now they're getting ready to go into the B site. Gathered in Monster flashes over the top to open things up, and right now for Big, it's looking pretty dire. Tizian, who did take a lot of damage from his teammates earlier on, now getting sprinkled by Molotovs, and he goes through as Rain will find his headshot. It's a 5v3 two-man advantage for FaZe Clan. And with that bomb plant being secured, just a matter of time before the round is confirmed as well.
Brokey going in with the Deagle, Olaf with the AK, and Zantares will try and save his M4, or maybe hang around for some exit kills.
Ooh, on the lawnmower as well. I think I heard Anders and Semler having a discussion about lawnmowers. I wonder if this is what sparked that conversation. You on the lawnmower, Alex?
I don't know anything about lawnmowers, really.
If I was gonna get a lawnmower, I'd get one of those the trucks, man. You know, like the ones you would drive around.
I feel like you can only get that if you've got a big garden, really.
Yeah, you need a huge. Well, not really. You could get it and just drive it around the street, but not exactly the best situation right there.
Probably not the best investment.
Yeah, that concludes this week's conversation on lawnmowers. We're right back at the round 9.
I'll come more prepared next time.
Yeah,
and with all the lawnmower models, I'll know them all.
What more thrilling concepts and topics can we come up with next, Alex? Find out.
You can mod your lawnmowers. I don't know.
We stick them all together and make a full weapon out of it, like Mad Max style. But anyway, I did say the conversation was over. Got reignited by a few creative ideas, but truly is beginning an important round 2 as well. And a lot of investment from Big. Double up setup, Keto and Seriously pulling out the big guns. Let's see if they can do anything with them, or if they're more of a facade. It's going to be a quick play for FaZe. Look how much control they're getting, just running down long. Carrigan's doing his 800 meters, and he's sprinting it all.
They've cut the noise too, so Searson's going to peek, but he doesn't realize how close they are, and he's caught by Rain. Crunch from both separate angles. Big take the risk of playing one man on the A site, and they chose the wrong round for it. Olaf even gets a nice little fadeaway kill onto Keto. That's the second AWP dropped. He wants even more here, trying to lock them in completely. Thankfully, Tizian gets that kill, but at this point, it's so early in the round, and yet Big are just fighting for their lives, not to win the round.
Yeah, it feels like Carrigan's in a flow state right now. Every so often you get an in-game leader on the T side of Overpass that just hits that flow state. Every single call they're making works out perfectly. They get a perfect read of the game. Next round we got this idea. This one, just banging out the ideas, and they're all perfectly flowing together for FaZe Clan now. That's just one of those rounds that just works out beautifully. Very quick change of pace up in towards that long area. Even Zantara is just about getting into the next round. Got fired out of the nightclub, but he somehow dodges the bouncers. Maybe we need to take tips from him, Alex.
Why are you directing me at that at me, Dinko, huh?
I don't know. Definitely nothing to do with us being the baby casters or anything.
Oh, never.
just go and stick a little fake mustache on. That's when the disguise might work out. We'll just go in, just a little fake mustache over the top of our lips.
I'll have you know I've matured very much over lockdown, Dinko. I'm now
I haven't seen you since
sophisticated gentleman.
2019. That's pretty unreal.
Oh, wow. Been a minute. But at least we've been able to game together.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. There's no positives here at all. So,
hey, I'm level 8 on Face It now, man.
You're doing well, actually.
I'm getting there.
It's almost like upgrading your PC equipment was actually the way to go.
It helped. I won another game last night on Overpass, actually.
I seen that. It's the vaccine. Make sure you get yours, and if also you want to donate and contribute to the areas of the world that aren't as fortunate as maybe where you are, you can do that below the Twitch channel. It looks like FaZe Clan have donated 2 early kills to a less fortunate team of Big here. There's 2 openings. Now they're going to have to try and figure out how they're going to pull this back, and FaZe Clan are going to go through Monster. But there's 2 players here. Zantares is one of them. He's got the rifle. He's mowed them down. He's got a brilliant lawnmower. It's an M4A4.
I like the way Tizian played that too. He gave up his life, basically just jiggling and pre-firing the angle to make sure that Zantares could come forwards and just pre-fire the position with his rifle. Gave Zantares the best possible chance to line up both players. Rock boost across unsuccessful. Brokey with another kill. I was getting shades of Guardian for a second there, but Big had too many players close by to make the madness happen.
Oh yeah, there was definitely a little flashback in my head right there to Guardian, but Brokey couldn't quite pull it off.
It's so nice having Searson be able to just do something like that with the scout too. Like, he's been having a quiet game. He just busts out the scout and gets a kill at mid, and that's what sets him off on the front foot there.
Yeah, when Searson's on the scout, you never really can count Big out, right? They just have that needs to be a t-shirt, by the way. But yeah, Searson's just so good on the scout. Maybe just stick to that weapon, gets caught with the AWP again. Unfortunate start to the round here for Big. Definitely from 0 to 0 so quickly as you move into the next round. And Tabson has a lot to do here. Great flashbang out from Keto. Great kills from Tabson. Double in, and Keto swings out from long. FaZe Clan get chopped down. And Carrigan and Olaf Meister, they're the remnants. Can they grow from it? The answer looks to be no. Now it is required of Carrigan. A 3 versus 1. We've seen some big clutches from Carrigan in the past. We know he can pull these kind of rounds off every now and then, but he's got to do it here. Headshot onto Tizian. First victim collected. Can he separate this round and bring it down to 1v1 fights? He's got one of the best rifles right in front of him. And Zantares waits for his teammate, and they peek together. Pretty much eliminates any chance of Carrigan winning the round there. But Big, they get off to a pretty bad start, but they win the round.
They do indeed win it. And they're getting that AK into the hands of Zantares, which is always scary. This flash play on long was lovely. Tabson using the bullets of the M4A1S, the easiest spray control to take those 2 headshots. And then Zantares at the end had a couple of flashy shots with the AK. We've got a pause on our hands here, so another chance for our observers to show us what they can do with the camera.
He can fly. Pretty impressive. Also, just coming into today, if you guys are unfamiliar with what we're doing here, Gamers Without Borders is a charity put together to give away millions of dollars to people who are less fortunate than us, right? That need vaccines for the COVID-19 pandemic, and obviously this is something that affects all of us all around the world, and some of us have a huge benefit of living in populated cities with luxurious vaccination centers where we can go, and it's all very easy for us. It's not easy for a lot of the world, right? So we have wonderful men and women who go out there and put their own lives at risk to get vaccines to people that need them most in some underprivileged areas. So if you guys are feeling like you want to be obliged to donate towards this cause, you can do so below in the Twitch channel. Take a look at all of the relevant donation links, and you will be able to find yourself over on one of those websites to contribute to a great cause here. And of course, that's what all of these players are competing for. You know, usually these guys are out here competing for hundreds of thousands of dollars every week, Alex, but they are doing that, but not for themselves this time. It's for charities of their choice, and the deeper you go in the tournament, the more money you have to give to the charity of your choice. We've seen NIP go out yesterday. I believe they had $100,000 to give away, and then we had MIBR going out in last place yesterday, even a couple of days ago, and even they had $50,000 to give to a charity of their choice. So obviously everybody walking away doing something great. So it's a great tournament to put on, but it looks like we're about to get right back into the action.
Straight back underway. Both teams with a bit of money in the bank, but not massive amounts. Oh, what a what a transition.
Like what a movie maker. Rush is a cinematic genius.
Lovely work. Ali Molly being deployed into short, both teams contesting for map control, but it's Tabson who's got all the way up into mid. The nade is solid, twist down to 57 health. Elsewhere, they're assembling this boost, making sure that the player below the tower isn't exposed to the wood angle. And oh wow, how is Zantares not spotted him? Jumps across and finally sees the kill he could have had if only he got the timing right.
Yeah, it's just so close, but yes, so far. And all of Mice are very lucky to get away with that one, but Zantares coming in with a great kill. Keto now digging deep. They've got themselves that man advantage, and Twist is out onto the site, but they haven't been able to get the bomb planted, and they won't be able to right now. Keto gets in, stops the bomb from safely being planted, gets traded out by Rain, but still, it is Big who hold the advantage. And they've got Searson, they've got the sniper up here in the high vantage position. Tabson's quickly coming as well, and they don't even need the sniper, they've got the riflers in form, and it's going to be around for Big. It was just chaos on the B side.
Zantares' time to kill is so quick right now. with the AK. It's crazy. 2 kills in this round for him. Keto doing good work with the sprays to the body. At the end there, they had a nice flash play too. Searson throwing the flash in from heaven. They had Tabson peek from short and Xantares peek on the backside of pillar. So they used one flashbang to peek 2 separate angles, which was really cool. Nice way of doing it to make sure they could work together. And Tabson's making the exact same play here in round 13 as well.
Why not? Just go for it again. Searson has been posted up in top connector this time. Gets his kill, but quickly look at that from Carrigan. But it's a no-scope from Searson that's delivered. Not what Carrigan was wanting. He'll be asking for a refund on that one, but Twist and Brokey are quicker. AKs and P250 suddenly delivering the trading kills, and all of that hard work done by Searson is undone. And once again, we're at a 3v3. Once again, we're at a stalemate between the two teams.
2 CTs have rotated into the A-bomb site though. Oh, Brokey nearly got an opportunity there, but the smoke lands in tight. Can't find that angle onto the A site just yet. Waiting to see if someone makes that mistake of peeking him, but he's gone on the other side, and oh, how has he not got that kill? Brokey just about gets away and gets some backup from Twists.
Oh, that is awful from Keto. It's very unfortunate to have not been able to get that kill. He spotted the barrel, he spotted the front of the play, but no kill, and now Tizian. More pressure on him, but Twist, he doesn't leave any stone unturned. Unfortunately for Twist, this stone fights back. Tizian and Xantares getting kills, and just Brokey now with 23 seconds. He had to also get the bomb even after he gets that first kill. So things are looking rough for Brokey in the clutch, and Big put him out of his misery. It is a round for Big. These rounds are definitely just hotly contested right from the get-go, right? You get these trades coming in, the 2 kills from Searson, the trades come in from FaZe Clan, and right down to the final few moments, you don't really know which way it's going to go.
I was scared for Tizian's position because you are so committed there. Oftentimes you can just get cleared out, but he did a really good job from that spot, getting that first kill, and then just about got the second, even though the shot landed on him through the wall. Twist holding long, lands a shot early, looks back for more, another tag lands. How is he staying untouched here? Doing a good bit of damage early, and with Rain finding a kill towards Connector, they have clear access to the A site right now. Oh, the bomb though.
Oh, it can't be caught. Cannot be caught behind him, but Tabson's timing hasn't just worked out yet. Might just get a second opportunity, but every bit of timing works out perfectly. Twist looks back though. He realizes there's pressure on his shoulders to stay alive. He's the bomb carrier. So Twist is going to get out of there, sprinting towards the site, but hot on his heels is Tabson. He eventually gets the bomb and a second kill out of it as well. A 3v3 once again. Somehow, some way, we're constantly in this jostle for control. And with the bomb down right in the middle, that banana, it's going to be Carrigan that runs back to pick it up. On his back, he'll run towards the side again. 40 seconds left in play. And Big realize it's all about delaying. And Tizian has been a player that's been able to do that time and time again. And Tabson, the player that's put us in this situation, still alive in the bathrooms and hasn't really finished his work just yet, reinforces him into early retirement. Now with 20 seconds, FaZe Clan, they've got to run. They've got the bomb. They're going to go back down into the B site.
And that could bait the CTs into Olof, who's been waiting this whole time, cutting off the rotation. He's even getting proactive to clear out Heaven entirely, but as Big start to go down, Olof's got the close angle, deep body shots get the initial kill, and Tizian has 2 players against him. Oh, great shot onto Carrigan, but he's got to be ready for the player down below. Flash trickled on in, he tries to jump up, but Rain is wise to his tricks. Nice play from Rain. I think it's common for people to jump up like that, and he's aware of it. Gets into the right position, gets the right angle, and gets his team the round.
What a cool round from FaZe Clan as well, right? Just the pressure's there, the time is ticking, you pick up the bomb again, and you just get out of there. You get down into the B side. Like you said, all of Meister's been waiting there. It's the whole round, basically. You somewhat forget about him because he's just been so stationary, just waiting for his time to strike, and he was put in place early into the mid-round, and became such a pivotal part towards the end because it turns it into a 1 versus 2 instead of a 2v2 advantage, right? Because when you're coming in with a retake, you've actually got an opportunity there. But when it's just Tizian, he even comes close. But imagine if he had a teammate there. They likely pull that off. So fantastic stuff from FaZe. A really cool round out of them. Here in the last round of the first half, this big scrambling together to get what they can. It's going to be Serious out on the AWP. Again, another quiet performance in Serious, and we didn't want to see more out of him here in this final map, but hasn't quite been able to live up to the expectations that we usually have for him.
Such a scary A setup from Big. It's both pistol players on the A site right now, but Citizens AWP on B has been able to come through, and now Carrigan decides to force the issue. This A site is wide open, but they don't have A long control. Keto will still be in that spot, so that could be an issue for FaZe as Keto starts to come back. Brokey clears him. Brilliant headshot, and that will allow the bomb to be planted.
Yeah, they are aware of that long area. They knew they hadn't fully cleared it, so Brokey, before going for the plant, just goes out for the clearance. Takes damage from the utility. Searson and Brokey trading out blow for blow, but it's Twist and Carrigan that both go down, and I just mentioned Searson. Here we go, Searson. This is the redemption arc you need. He's got 4 kills, and now it's just Olofmeister. 1 versus 2, and Searson is holding for him. It's a scary sight. The sniper looks down. The German sniper covers off the defuse. The 4K secured, just about missing out on the ace, but what a fantastic round to close out the half from Searson. That is living up to the expectations we have from him.
That switch up over to B paid off early. He eventually got that kill in towards Connector. And then Carrigan, late in the round here, was thinking about going aggressive through this dumpster smoke. But once his teammate got that first kill, he goes back. He thinks he wants to play the numbers. And that actually inadvertently ends up helping Searson take that further fight. Searson still had to hit the shots, though, and he did so very well. Speaking of hitting shots, Rain has already hit the first shot of the second half.
Yeah, it's always beautiful to watch that from the opposing player's perspective. It's not so fun to be that player, but watching the headshots when you have someone like Rain up there just tapping away, it's always great to see from the other perspective. And Rain might just be able to find himself another one. He's tasted blood, and he's got a desire for more. Put them in Connector. Brokey, look at this aggression. All the way down in behind enemy lines. Towers goes down to Connector, but Brokey is coming in behind. He spots Tizian trying to get Monster, but behind the head USP shots, they're always difficult to land, especially when your opponent's bouncing around like that. Big get into the site, the bomb going down. Rain quickly up. He started off the round. He looks to try and close it out. Olofmeister helping him, and Tizian just manages one. There's 3 from Olof in the pistol, and FaZe Clan are up to 10.
These rounds... Oh, hello. These rounds have involved fights all over the map. They have been so spread out throughout this game. It's been cool to see. Overpass can turn into this sometimes. Sometimes it's a bit more structured than this, but right now it feels like it is just loose across the map. It's very fun to watch. Right now it's favoring FaZe. 10-6 lead for them, but with the bomb plant, you already know that Big are going to be forcing.
2 Khalils, 2 Deagles, and a Scout. The Scout for Searson as well. Adds extra damage to it. Definitely have to be worried about this if you're FaZe Clan. You've got to give this buy respect. And they'll be aware of the forced buy, obviously, when you can see the bomb plant. Tees generally come into these rounds with quite a bit of investment. One of the scariest rounds of Counter-Strike right now are these second CT rounds after winning the pistol. Rain's going to play in that smoke at front bathrooms. Hasn't been spotted as it fades away. Santaris is the first to get spotted by Rain, and he's down. That's one of the rifles gone, and Tabson quickly following up, running down into the bathrooms. Elsewhere, Tizian has been able to follow up for Big, so they're in a favorable situation. The aggression for Brokey just on a USP has paid off for just 1 kill. Tabson is doing a fantastic job, but will he expect this player around the corner? I think he's killed enough in bathrooms to think it's clear. You can't really blame him for it. And oh, Twist, look at this. They have no idea. 1 for Twist. Can't get the second. Luckily for Tizian, he's able to stay alive and turn around for that kill. And it's just on to Olofmeister in a 1 versus 2 up against Searson and Tizian. And they're going down to B.
Yeah, they've had enough of the A site. There are too many players in random ass corners. They're not excited about that, so they go back to B, and it's a good decision. Free bomb plant for Big on the site. Olof's starting to come in with this rifle, spots the jumping player. Now he spots the shadow, so he's got info on both players. They try the double peek, and Tizian just about able to trade his teammate.
How good has Tizian been over these last two maps, Hawker? He has just been on top of his game. Over on the first map, he was very quiet, but as we went into Nuke, Tizian was having a lot of impactful moments, and even into Overpass, it continues. Glad to see it out of Tizian. Lots of multi-kills coming in for him. 15-14 now, leading the way for his team. I mean, it's not the prettiest buy from both teams here, but certainly favoring Big with the AK, the M4, and 2 Khalils alongside a MAC-10. For FaZe Clan, it is Deagles, and I do say Deagles in a little bit of a disappointing tone, but I have to say FaZe Clan, when they're on Deagles, Alex, that is when things get messy.
Oh, Keto taking damage. Carrigan comes in and comes close to a kill, and he set up Twist for success. 2 assists to his teammates, 2 body shots for Twist to give his team the early edge.
Great stuff for Twist, you know, knowing the players are damaged up, softens them up for the body shots, and that's all Twist needed to land. And here come Big into the B site. Brokey, he's using the cover of the ramp to cover up most of his body, just his head peering over the top as he goes for these quick shots over the top. Someone used his head to leapfrog, and it seriously just bounces over the top of him. Gets straight up Goomba'd, but it's going to be Twist and Rain who look to try and pull the round back. Advantage point for Rain as he's boosted up on the sandbags, and that smoke's actually kept him covered off for now. Bombs inside of the smoke as well. He's going to get another smoke, this one a little deeper, so it does sever off his information flow. He doesn't see where the players are. Because of that, they don't see him either. It's a game of hide and seek right now, and Rain jumps up. Sound cue is being made. He's going to start spamming away, giving away his position. And they're going to start spamming back at him, but no one yet connecting significant damage. And finally, oh, Rain, he ran out of ammo. Straight out to the Deagle. And Seriously, down in towards Monster, the rifle in his hands, has the crossfire of Tizian inside of the site. This should be relatively impossible for Rain to do anything about it. And Seriously confirms that with the round win. In the third and final map, Alex, we've got ourselves a real barn burner.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Rain there. If the bomb's planted default or out in the open, he's going to have the chance to just jump up, spot the player, and then in his head he'd know where to spam into the smoke. But instead it's one of the few plant spots where he can't do that so easily. It ends up being a big round.
Humongous round. Big setting up outside of B early on, just one player elsewhere, and that is Searson on a little bit of an excursion. He's having fun, he's running up, and he might get info that the A side's actually pretty clear right now, but it doesn't even matter because Big have just taken every kill on the B side. They walk into somewhat of a stack and they just get every single kill. They're not complaining about that one.
Lovely work. I will be very happy with this. FaZe still up, but Big had a really slow start here, and it feels like they are building into this game now. Haven't seen the same crazy plays from FaZe in some of the recent rounds. Twist had that triple kill with the Deag, but didn't lead to the round win. To their own side of the map. Safe to save the 4 rifles and the 1 MAC-10. Here comes the investment from FaZe. Wow, Olaf goes for the helmet. Be not needed. Now they don't have a kit. He's missing a couple of nades, but maybe he's scared of just that MAC-10 being kept over. It's not kept over this time. Citizen's upgraded, but it's got to be a consideration sometimes.
Yeah, Nuke is definitely something you would rather have, even if there is a small risk about the MAC-10, you would still rather have a diffuse kit over it. But all can play for Brokey. A little bit of capabilities with that, but he's playing it inside the bathrooms. They've taken their time. They're methodical in towards connector, just clearing that out with utility. Deep smoke into middle, just Smoking off Rain, but he's going to play with the smoke instead, trying to get every advantage out of the utility usage as possible. Elevates up, spots the head of Tizian, and now they're aware of Rain's spot. They do start firing bullets back at him. Rain doesn't take much damage, just 4 HP down. It is Tabson who takes the most damage so far at the beginning of the round, but yet no kill as it go under a minute. Tabson starting to realize there's probably quite a few players just outside the bathrooms here, and Rain takes the fight to them. 2 kills, bomb down, and Rain has full control of this. He might just get even more up until Xantares put his foot down, finally having a little bit of authority in the round, but it's not looking good for Big. Other than those kills from Xantares, it's looking like FaZe Clan are looking very hot to trot. Again, this close corner position of Brokey, they've overlooked it before, but now they've got the distraction of sight they have to worry about as well. So just so many players in so many random ass corners, as you said earlier, Alex, and we'll see if they pull anything off here.
I think calling off this round is the wiser decision at this point. Nice shot from Xantares. I don't think that baits them in though. Such little time left.
Yeah.
Can't go for it at this point. Well played by Rain, just getting so aggressive into the bathrooms. Big completely caught off guard by that. And then Keto on long just felt like he had to do something because he saw his teammates dying. I think he saw the round collapsing in front of him. So he tries to sneak out through the long smoke, which is a high risk, high reward play. And he felt like he needed to make this play because he looked like the round was falling apart from the bathroom. So I can understand why Keto does it, but unfortunately I think that kill is the one that basically guaranteed FaZe were winning the round. Got another gun round on our hands though, so all to play for here.
Big are getting a lot of control at the start of the round. Brokey's just kind of jump spotting, eventually gets info. Okay, they've arrived at long. And we did see that actually as a bit of a weakness for Big in their CT side. We've seen FaZe actually exploit the lack of information being picked up long early, so it's good that FaZe are getting that info on their CT side. Saveson aware of that tight angle, goes to the pre-fire, couldn't get the frag, and this was the problem area in the last round. If you remember, just Rain getting aggressive, Brokey really causing problems that. So they're definitely investing a lot just to try and maintain that area, and they haven't been able to really win it. They haven't been able to force the players out of position, and Carrigan gets aggressive into long, and FaZe Clan just bring the fight to Big again, and they're winning these fights and they're not getting traded.
Nice response from FaZe. I like the way they were spotted on long and then they quickly go and focus on short, because you see that Searson maybe wasn't 100% prepared for there to be a couple of players there. And now with that man advantage, FaZe can fall back into a more passive stance and a more standard setup. Carrigan wants more though. He goes aggressive again, this time on B, and that's going to force Big to just go for a Hail Mary play into A.
Searson is going to find more where that came from. If possible, just going to molly off the bank and try and isolate some of the angles he has to fight from. Smoke up on the stairway right now. Brokey, he's gone close. It's a close no-scope from Searson as well. Tabson and Searson working together have pulled this back into a 2v2, and Searson on the walk back gets his 3rd kill of the round, and Olafmeister decapitated by Tabson. That is a beautiful round out of Searson and Tabson, one that Big desperately needed. Well, it was served up on a silver platter.
Called it a Hail Mary push into A, Dinko, and if that's what it was, I think Tabson was the quarterback, setting it up to begin with, and Searson was the receiver, catching it and coming through with some really important kills while his teammate was planting, keeps him safe. That is a whopping turnaround from Big, because it looked like FaZe had full control of the round. It looked like FaZe had dominated control in the proceedings early. Just those couple of kills early make a big difference, and now FaZe are forced back to a pretty weak buy, but they've got some early kills.
Yeah, near damage and the peek out from the connector door, and those kills have been delivered for FaZe Clan. This is a round you should have no say in, but suddenly it's a Krieg and it's an AK into their hands with a 2-man advantage. Still no trade out from Big. They haven't even got the site. They've got to walk into a stack of the B-bomb site. Tizian luckily gets Carrigan, but not without taking damage. Unluckily, that itchy goes into Wolfmeister. Nothing is free in this world, my friend. As he goes down to the itchy grenade. It's a 3v3 again. Still not out of the woods just yet, Big.
Genuinely felt like that SG was like booby trapped. Like as soon as he hooks close to it, there's a tripwire and a nade just flies in out of nowhere.
It's like Indiana Jones. It's too easy to get this artifact, just get blown out of the water. Or in Overpass's case, blown into the water.
True. It's some very dirty water too.
Yeah.
That is a difference once you're dead.
I suppose it decomposes your body a bit quicker, maybe.
True.
All
30
the rats.
seconds.
Getting
All the smoke onto the site. I like that from Big. Should help them get the bomb down. Maybe not going to help Keto though.
Twist not too far up. It's always difficult to span through that box. You never really see many people getting much out of it. And Searson is getting a lot out of his AWP now. Down to the 1v1 versus Brokey. This could be another round where you look at Searson just coming out on top. Ever since that round where I've said to, we expect a little more out of Searson, that's the round he's just delivered to 4K, and now he's up on top of the team. And he's got around in towards short, and no one's even on that bomb. And with Brokey with no kit on his back, the round's already lost here. And Searson knows that he's got this in the bag. He's going to go up for the peak. Brokey just trying to get at least some sort of reward out of the round. Pulls the AWP into him, picks up the AWP. He's now sprinting away to try and hold on to it, and he'll do that well enough. So, big tie up the scoreline. Another big round out of there for Searson. I have to say, those kills down into the site are everything for Big right now. If Searson isn't performing like he is, I don't think there's as much of a case of a comeback for Big at all.
And that was a round that easily could have fallen by the wayside, especially once Keto is caught out by that Heaven player, the SG at range. You needed Searson to land some impressive AWP shots, and he definitely delivered for his team there. All tied up.
Keep missing that Molotov.
Yeah,
towards top mid. It's a difficult one to throw, I have to say, but we would like to see it land a little more often, especially at this level.
I'm sure Big's utility will be a bit better. Smoke and Molly from Keto both look on point.
German efficiency.
Very well known for their nades. Big. They've got another Molly for that right side. Tizian will start to come towards short, but Rain making a ballsy play. He's been playing a pretty high-risk play style in those bathrooms, but he's probably delivered more often than not so far.
He really has. Rain has had a completely different performance here on Overpass than how he started the day. It's great to see him really deliver on the server. This is the kind of Rain we want to see all of the time. 55 seconds left, 3v3, double up setup remaining for FaZe Clan. 2 players on the B site right now for the CT defense, and Bigger coming this way. 1 prone to the approach through water, but 2 through Monster, and Olaf Meister's being completely neutralized by the flashbang of Searson. As Carrigan's trying to try and hold on to the site for his team. The in-game leader with even more pressure on his shoulders. Tabson has tapped the bomb, finally committing to it. And because of that little misstep, because he didn't commit to the plant the first time around, it's down to the clutch for Searson. And he's going to walk forward. Carrigan quicker on the headshot. Searson had thought he'd gone deeper into the water pit. And that's 12 rounds for FaZe Clan. And it's all on Carrigan saving the day there.
Great misdirection from Carrigan at the end of the round, because you can see from Searson's perspective why he would be fully focused on water. A lot of players would just tuck into the angle, would hold, would maybe wait for the plant, wait for the player to come to them, but Carrigan goes all the way back and then he knows he can just peek on a completely different angle of elevation, which is going to make it so difficult for that AWP to react. Really smart play from Carrigan. It pays off for his team, and now Bigger back down to pistols, and with those pistols, they've got a B play at the ready.
We've seen a couple of these team hits coming in from Big Clan over on Nuke. We'll see if they work out here on Overpass. A quick B hit coming in with just pistols. Initially, good job of just forcing back the CTs, using the utility to get onto the site, but they haven't been able to get the bomb down. And because of that, here comes the re-aggression from FaZe Clan. They run onto the site, they get all of the kills, and no bomb plant even taken out of this round. Just 1 measly little kill from Tabson. And it's 13-11 for FaZe. That's a really well played round. I like that they don't stick around, they don't commit to the site, because you are likely to fall to those pistols if you hang around those close corners. But as you fall back, you can go back in as a unit, and that's exactly what FaZe Clan play to perfection.
Yeah, that's really smart. Really good play from FaZe, like you said, just ahead of the game there. Because in those rounds, it's oftentimes going to be the case that Big don't have the full utility. So they have to use all their nades just on the initial step of the plan, on the initial site take. And that means once those initial nades are used, you can probably be pretty safe to go ahead and just take those fights. And, well, this round, they just took all the fights. No investment from Big, and it definitely showed.
That was a quick one. Swept under the rug, but here comes the buy from Big. And it might just be one of the last standbys. They lose this one, likely to be over here in this series. FaZe Clan have hit another level in the last couple of rounds. Big moments out of Carrigan. This time, the molly lands. They're going to go for the boost this time, Big. Standing Searson up on top. Maybe this could be a way of getting an opening, but it is pretty late into the start of the round, so even the train coming past, there's no one up in heaven. Looking for Carrigan, jump spotting. That's all you can really get out of this now. No one's up towards heaven, and he's not spotting anybody. Just clearing all the angles, gleaming what he can. And doesn't get anything from the boost.
That has allowed Olaf to push all the way into water, all the way into B short, get that aggressive position early. Rain was also peeking into mid initially, but now he's decided to fall back, and Brokey caught in connector. Good shot from Tabson, taking the opposing AWP out of the round. And now FaZe may feel like they need to take a risk here. Down in a 4v5, not too many nades left for them. Rotate is arriving towards A, but Rain is pretty far forward, so I'm not sure if Carrigan can help Rain here.
Oh, seriously, that was an opportunity to open things up onto Carrigan, but it's Rain that doesn't even need help for the first kill. Couldn't quite put back in for the second, and Carrigan now really having to stand strong, and Carrigan just breaks them in half. Tizian and Keto hitting the deck quickly, and Carrigan has had an elevation of performance that you need from FaZe, but that is a big turnaround. Searson and Zantara is getting the frags, and suddenly it's a big round.
This has been so good at getting those kills in these crucial moments when the round is on a knife's edge. He's able to read that the play's coming up through connector. Really smart, patient play from Searson, just waiting for that player to come his way. Rain did really well on the first fight, and then it looked like Carrigan had won them the round with that double spray down. But look at how Big play it. Searson gets the first kill. Zantares realizes Carrigan's probably going to try and trade his teammate. They're both in such great sync there. That mid-molly has missed again, but FaZe have got another buy together, this time with a secondary AWP out for Twists.
Poor Rain, he's so close to getting this kill. Olafmeister, in fact, with the spam, finds Tizian's head, and from the grave, Tizian gets the reply onto Carrigan. 4v4, connector control will be established by Keto as he re-smokes it off. He doesn't even want to take the fight. It's more important, he feels, to get out and assist his teammates with utility. And Twist, aggressive with the AWP. You sometimes see him picking that up, and now he's got himself an angle in towards this short area to flash out Olafmeister from the barrels. He's peeked into play. Rain has been taken out of play by the AWP Searson, and now it's Twist having to do a lot of work alongside Brokey. Double AWPs to try and close out the round. That is not going to happen. Searson and Tabson, yet again, getting the round for Big. 14-13. This game is incredible so far. What a great opening to Group B.
Just feels like Big are somehow winning these close rounds every time. These 2v2s, 2v3s sometimes. They just work together so well in these scenarios. It's Antares and Searson again who are alive in the late round. It's not easy to pull those rounds off, but they find the fights individually. They win their team the round. Now FaZe are back down to pistols, and Big have every chance of tying things up.
They're going for the boost here. Olafmeister gets his chance, gets his opportunity, he takes it straight away, but Tabson, look how quickly they're out monster.
So fast. Tabson's already got 2. Oh, Twist actually got that kill before dying, which is unbelievable. But I don't think it's going to make a difference. The outcome of the round is already confirmed. Big take it, all tied up. We're going the distance, Dinko. We've got round 30 guaranteed, and I'm so glad Overpass has been a close map here, because the first 2, fairly one-sided. Overpass really showing up from both teams, and Big really had to grind their way back into this. Got to give them huge props, because these haven't been easy rounds either.
Yeah, and in particular, Searson, man, look, 21 and 18, and just think of all the important moments he's had so far. Tabson as well alongside him. This has been just a fantastic grind back into play for Big, and they don't want to let it stop here. FaZe Clan to come back into it with a bye. Searson versus Brokey, the alt battle that might just start off this round. Olofmeister elsewhere has taken 80 health points of damage. But this patient battle, Searson no longer wants a piece of the long fight. He looks to change up his position. And the nade stack onto Twist has dealt a lot of damage again. FaZe may still have 5 players, but they're losing a lot of health.
Oh, Searson's making a bit of noise here. There's a chance they peek in behind him. He's alone with that AWP. But he has to be very careful that Brokey doesn't go out any further. FaZe with that player aggressive on A though. Playing much more heavily stacked on the B bomb site right now. Ito dropping back as the smoke fades. Carrigan still close by, but Keto wins the first fight. He's had a quiet game, but that could be a huge impact frag.
What a way to open up, and Searson elsewhere finally wins the battle against Brokey. It's been a long time coming, but it comes to a close. 15 to 14, Big up to map and series point. That was a clean round. They didn't even lose one player. FaZe Clan had everybody in a good spot, right? They knew how much utility was being used up into the B side. They had Brokey aggressive on long. It just ended up not working out at all. They didn't even get a single frag. And now we head into round 30, last round of regulation. And if you're a FaZe Clan fan, you're feeling a little sick in your stomach right now just looking at the buy they've got. It's not a whole lot to the server. We haven't had overtime yet, Alex, you and I, so maybe this could be our first one. We'll see if Big decide to close it.
I think if you're a FaZe Clan fan, you've seen this too many times and you know how it ends. They've lost so many maps, 16-14, so many decider maps in the past, and this might be another one. Keto and Tizian running in, but somehow Twist with a quad kill, and it's all on that man Searson. First shot lands, he's looking for more, but Twist comes in with an ace, with the USP of all things, and we're going to overtime.
What is that from Twist? They just don't even check the barrels. And Twist just dishing out damage for mass. I didn't even know it had that many bullets. I don't even know it's capable of pulling off 4Ks. But Twist just gets everybody and then pulls out the USP. They have no idea that he's even there. Just tucked in the corner, searching through the smoke. And eventually his 5th kill comes towards him. We've got overtime. If you're a FaZe Clan fan, this is a better story. Maybe there's a chance again, as we once again are at the beginning of where we started. The story between Big and FaZe Clan in this opening matchup continues.
They've lost so many close games, Dinko. I feel like it's only time before they win one on the FaZe side. Even recently, they lost 2 16-14 maps against Na'Vi at Blast. They lost against Sprout 16-14 on Dust 2. They've had so many moments of heartbreak. Maybe now it's time for that to change. Or maybe Big are just going to keep showing up, because towards the end of the half there, they were looking incredible. This time, Searson's leading the charge for his team. He's oftentimes been alive in the late round. He's searching for a pick.
I do worry, though, because Rain has been very proactive in towards bathroom, but not this time. This time he's waiting. He'll spot the ult barrel, goes in for the pre-fire. It's the good kill, unfortunately, for Rain. Couldn't get the follow-up, but very fortunate for Big. But Carrigan, how many times have we seen him from here doing work? He gets through. It's actually Twist that backs him up there. And Tizian looking into the left side of the dice box. No one peeking upon it. And Big again are tasked with pulling around back where they're a man down. We've seen it lots of times before in regulation. Some of these rounds, you count them out in. We've seen one we thought Carrigan had won in the round beforehand, but we know Big. We're always fully focused in. The round's never done until it's over. And Brokey, that smoke is not going to work out for Big, actually. And Brokey's going to reposition further and deeper into the site. It doesn't matter. Olofmeister quickly gets over. We think the play is going to be on Brokey, but Olofmeister's like, move aside. I got this.
Big shame that the smoke's just not giving them that clear cover to the site, but Olof's happy with that all day. Clear line of sight, easy couple of kills for him as he swings out from CT. He's off to a good start into overtime, and we are seeing them stick with the double AWP setup now that they've got all the money available to them. And to see if Twist can have some impact with that AWP. This almost shows me just how much of a wealth of riches, to some extent, Liquid had with a bunch of players who were capable of AWPing, but weren't really primary AWPers. Because, you know, Naf would do it, Stewie would do it, now Twist is doing it on FaZe.
Yeah, it's just so many players could just pick up the AWP. It's kind of crazy. We have players like Twist, which all of those players you mentioned have that star player potential. You have to be an all-rounder. And so many of them are. You just don't really get to see it because a lot of these teams are packed with so much firepower. And Twist hitting a shot but not death onto Tabson, just enough damage to scare him off a little bit. Here comes the attack out from Big, good execute, good opening kill from Xantares. That's cracked open this round fully. And Twist, he's blinded, held back, couldn't find any impact. And now FaZe, they've really got to dig deep. And Carrigan has often had the shovel, but not in this round. As once again, Brokey and Twist on the double up setup are tasked with taking back this B site. And in doing so, it's often so impossible to win these rounds on ops, but Twist is going to use it like a rifle. No scope into Keto, but this time is ticking. They need the kills, and Twist is doing enough work to turn it into the 1v1. Down to the time now. Pressure taking for Brokey. Searson once again, ice in his veins as he holds back into short, and the round, it's a replica of a round times ago. It's Searson that comes on top of the battle, and Big will tie up the scoreline. Oh, these rounds are just so damn close. There's no way you should expect FaZe Clan to even get close in that one, but Twist just keeps chipping away.
I love what Twist was trying there with that smoke earlier too. He dropped that smoke down close right of him, so he wasn't exposed from the sight angles, and he could just hold to the left side of the site. Didn't end up working out for a kill, but it was a really cool idea. When you've got that up, I think it's a really nice way of playing that position. Didn't work out for him initially, but then he absolutely made up for it and brought the round close. Close isn't enough though. Big take it. 16-16, all tied up. Made onto Rain early, but he's holding in connector. Tizian's below him. There could be a man coming in from above, but Brokey spotted the gun barrel, and he will take his time at lining up that kill. Rain, though, caught off guard by Tizian.
The gun barrels have been a big issue for Big so far, especially up towards mid. They've been giving away a lot of info. I like that position taken by Twist. Not only is that a kill, but that's also the bomb revealed inside of Monster. They don't have control of it. This is a nightmare for Big. You've given away the bomb. They know exactly where it is, and now they've got you pinned in there. Time is ticking. Utility starts to come in and reclaim the bomb, but the peek out from Olaf Meister only good for one kill. 2v2. Brokey's close to the Deagle. Can't get anything. It's a no-scope from Searson, and now it's all on Carrigan again. He's got the shovel on his back. He's whopped it out. Can he get them out of the hole? The answer is just no. Xantares with the headshot. Another huge recovery from Big. It's just unbelievable how they turn those rounds around so consistently.
And it really feels like it's coming down to their individuals more than anything else, which isn't always what we say for Big. We know they have capable individuals, but oftentimes it's their overall team play that impresses us. Here, the rounds have been so chaotic that we're happy to see no scopes from Searson. We're happy to see Xantares landing crazy headshots like he did there at the end. Because that last shot wasn't easy to land. You know, Carrigan spotted him early, but we can't focus on the previous round. We've got to go ahead and look at this one because we've already got action. It's Xantares who forces the fight early and gives Big the early lead.
I'm loving the aggression and the confidence oozing from Big. You've seen two early fights coming in. Searson going for the connector peek. The aggression into water from Xantares, posting up Tizian in there, who has now just found a kill because of that early aggression. And FaZe Clan are down 2 players, and there's 1 minute and 15 seconds left in this clock. They've got to be able to crack things open, try and just find some sort of avenue of approach back into the round. And it's easier said than done because everybody from Big, like you just said, is having a fantastic showing today. They may not be, you know, the classic team play when it comes to utility and playing off each other, but it's team play of individuals. Look at the amount of kills across the board. 29 in Tizian, 25 is Xantares. Everybody doing work. And now it's on Olaf Meister and Carrigan to get a piece of that action. Olaf Meister gets the first kill into the 2v4, but he has to be aware of this play from Xantares, and you just can't be aware of that. Xantares was on his right side. Olaf Meister nearly reacts quick enough, but just not quick enough to get the kill. And Carrigan makes the last attempted play into the site, and Tizian's just ready for it. Up to 30 kills now for Tizian. 18-16. It's map and series point here for Big. Just one more and they're done.
It is very cool seeing this different facet of Big's game, like you were saying. Like, for a lot of other teams, I might be a bit questionable of this, but I feel like Big are a team who could absolutely use this. If anything, if they have some games like this every now and then, you could argue it gives them a bit more depth if they're willing to just get down and dirty and get drawn into the chaos, and they can come out on top. They're proving it right now. Pearson has got, he had an angle there to maybe pick off one, but probably would have been traded due to the double stack of players there, so at least he gets away. Keto will get the man advantage elsewhere, and Searson repositions for the longevity of the round, and so close to getting the second on a Brokey. Eventually will, for the second time of asking. FaZe Clan have been dished out what looks to be their last round. Twist and Olofmeister, an onslaught of players running Twist down. He's been fantastic in this series. I've enjoyed watching him throughout. From Inferno to the final round here of Overpass, Twist has delivered highlight moments, impact rounds. He's the whole reason we're here in overtime to begin with, but it just wasn't enough. And it's Olofmeister now taking his final steps of the round, the final steps of this series. Big, in just a moment, will head into the upper bracket. Even if we got to see vintage Olofmeister, I think this is one step too far. Searson finishes the job. 19-16 in the end. An incredibly close series.